Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 261 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast. Woo! Yes, we have multiple voices. GGing. I'm not even sure what's going on.
Do not adjust your dial. We have multiple voices.
The first voice, of course,
out of nowhere.
Pretty much. The first voice, as always, is Mr. Dream Twister, aka David Santos. What is up, sir?
I am the first voice. I feel like the first lady of podcasts. You know, like you just called me that. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'll take it.
I mean, that was like nowhere near what I meant, but I mean, I can't change it now.
I'll roll with it. Fuck it. I don't care.
Hey, it sounds like a good title to me. I don't know why you're complaining.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Well,
back from the dead is Mr. Chaos Reaper, a.k.a. Hilberto.
Woo!
Sir, what the hell is up, bro?
Oh, bro, so much. New house. My lair is finally being set up. Yes!
Nice.
Woo! Yes. The Reaper finally has a permanent abode.
Yes. I'm glad you're using the word abode. Very happy.
That means that our affiliates are they're expanding now. Yes. So we have what are we calling? What have we decided to name your abode?
The Reaper's Den. Reapers is in plural because there's two Reapers in here.
There's two Reapers in it. Yes.
Plural.
The Reaper's Den. Very good.
Sounds like such an unwelcoming place, and it's completely the opposite. It's like you will not meet a nicer pair of people. A nicer pair of people. Yes, that's what I said.
As polarizing and ironic as you said that,
no,
both statements are true. Because unless we like you, please don't show up.
Yeah, fair enough.
So welcome to the Reapers. I was gonna go to the Dragon Slayer. The Reaper's Den. We should have called it the Dragon Slayer. No,
I was saying
Miss Reaper would have appreciated that.
I would actually probably would have rolled with that, but I would have to consult that with Mrs.
No, I like the Den.
Yeah.
I like the Den. Also, congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful place there. Matt, we're still calling your house Casa de Martin Hotel and Grill.
Bro, that is Casa de Martin. Like, you cannot change that now. No, I love that name.
I know, yeah.
I absolutely love that name.
So, I didn't name that for the regular. Dream Twister came out of nowhere with that one. So.
He's the one that names things.
There was one time,
nudges here and there.
There was one time I was too drunk to drive back home, and Mr. Magda was gracious enough. Mr. and Mrs. Magda were gracious enough to host me and allow me to stay in. And the experience that I had, it just felt like I was in a hotel, and I have already been fed, mind you, and drank. So I was like, okay, well, this is perfect. This is what I'm naming it. I first tagged it on Facebook, but then I took the tag out because I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure this guy wants everybody to know where he lives, but I was like, yeah, no, he's staying Casa du Martin.
No, but what is the full name? What is the full name, please?
I think that's what it is. Casa de Martin's Hotel and Grill.
Hotel and Grill. There you go. I hadn't heard the last bit.
I don't know why Hotel and Grill.
That is so cool that you named it like this whole thing. I love
it. We even called Mrs. Dream Twister to say, hey, by the way, he's not. He's been drinking a little bit, so he's just gonna sleep out over here.
No, that was like the second or third time. I think the first time there was no Miss.
There was no Mrs. Oh,
yet. No. I think that was the problem the first time. That I couldn't catch a Mrs. Twister anywhere, so I might have been a little depressed and just decided to bunker down and I had the best time of my life. I'm making reservations out to stay next time. But you're booked solid.
Oh my god! Yeah, like, at this point, thanks. I sure have a guess that's here for good at this point. So, but anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, please go to goodgame.rocks. I promise it is working now.
Okay, good. 'Cause I don't know
Yeah.
when I was trying to say the website, and I don't know if it was still the current one, like if this is working or not. So I kind of like sort of mentioned it.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and test it right now. So goodgame.rock. .rocks doesn't work because it's not ROCK. It's ROCKS.
S,
Remember that.
rocks. Mm-hmm.
Because good games do rock. Let's see. Yep. It takes you right straight to our game. Good game. Gamer group. Yeah.
All of the
Exactly.
G's,
So many Gs.
motherfucker. We own all of them G's.
All
of
the G's are
belong
all
to
your
us.
G's are belong to us.
Yeah.
Yes, all of your G's
Nice.
belong to us.
Nice. Yes.
That's
So
right.
please
Bad luck.
go there, join the
Definitely.
conversation.
And,
love to have you.
well, thank you.
Doesn't take
Fantastic.
long.
We
Just one
appreciate
simple
you
question is all we need for
allowing
you to
us
get
be
in.
able to record this and watching Mad Dog fade in and out. And I'm trying to do this as subtle as I can, but it may or may not have worked.
Hey, you still that was smooth. Thank you for covering
done.
that hiccup
Well
there.
done. Yeah.
From,
No one heard it.
Zencaster.
What else do I get
Nope.
paid for here? Oh, wait.
This episode of GG's podcast is not brought to you by Zencaster. We're just using it, but they're not sponsoring us. So
I mean, they're definitely not sponsoring us, but, thanks to their free services.
Yeah. Well, not free
well, he
anymore.
paid for it now.
But we're definitely joining the bandwagon, at least to see how well it does on the pro side of things.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see,
yeah.
yeah.
If we want, we need to pay our dues. All right.
Thank
So
you, free trials.
Yeah,
There you
for sure. So yeah, guys, what we normally do first is we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, and then finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic:
Hot topic.
Mortal Kombat spoiler review.
Oh, baby. This is going to get
man.
savage.
It's
Oh,
going to
man.
be something, that's for sure. Just that's about as much as I can think of the movie.
I know
is to say
fatalities
well-
will occur, sir.
it was something. It was something.
And it was
I
definitely
can't
not
even
a
say
flawless victory.
no. But yes, we will go into more detail, more really harsh detail later on in the show.
We will be getting into all of the gory details.
Nice.
Oh,
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Well
you, sir.
done.
Puns, we have them.
I got a feeling that you guys are being facetious here. I like this movie. I like this movie a whole lot. I give it a
Wait.
0 out of 10.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
What are we doing? What are we
Why
doing?
are you spoiling the whole spoiler cast, bro?
Spoiling the
It is-
spoiler cast.
It is a spoiler cast, so I guess that's expected. But
Yeah,
Yeah, but
absolutely.
not like, 10 minutes into the recording.
If you guys have not watched this movie, do yourself a favor and go ahead and watch it first before listening to the podcast. Because unless you don't care about it, because there might not be much to care about. So
And
if that's the case,
an
then
absolute fair way to feel. Don't worry.
sure.
We got
For sure.
you covered.
some people don't care about spoilers.
No, actually, I was talking to Mama Reaper, who is actually visiting this weekend. Actually, the reason why I'm able to sit here tonight is because she came over and I took the day off.
Woo! Thank you,
Yes,
Mama Reaper.
Thank you, Mama Reaper. Actually, Miss Reaper as well. But anyways, she doesn't care about spoilers. Like I spoil the entire movie, and like all she cares is, she still gets just as excited watching the movie, whether it's spoiled or not. I can't do that, but I mean, hey,
I can. I can.
it depends for me. It's not. I mean, if I have zero interest in it, and I know I'm about to watch it, something. This is very rare though. If I have zero interest in it, I'm like you could have probably spoiled Mortal Kombat, and I probably would have just watched it anyway. But yeah, it would
at
depend.
some point.
It would depend, yeah. But all right, guys. Well, let's start with what we've been up to, and we're going to start with the man who has been missing for 8 months. And first off, I need to ask, how are the depths of hell? And second, welcome back, sir. What do you feel about the world now?
Thank you very much. People are still stupid. They suck, and you know,
And you're heading back.
all of the people that are listening to this, you are smart, and I love you.
Yes, for picking us. You are smart, and we love you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're definitely smart for picking this podcast to listen. Of course, I mean, seriously.
We know that you had a choice of podcasts,
Yeah,
you
you have
picked up the
plenty of
wrong
choices,
one.
and you're not a robot. If you join DG, we know you're not a robot. Hello.
Oh, we ask you. We
We
ask
don't
you
allow
specifically.
robots. We
Nope,
only allow
no bots.
humans.
That's right.
We are very
500 humans and
style.
counting.
How would you call it? Like when you're like prejudiced against robots?
We are robocysts.
Robophiles.
Robophiles if you love them.
Yeah. If you love them the wrong way.
Roboist, whatever the fuck. Anyway.
Robocyst. I think you are anti-robot.
I mean, honestly, I really haven't played a wide variety of games or anything. I did play Outriders.
Nice.
I
Yes.
got bought into it, and I did buy into it, and I played it. I played the story. As far as gas games go, it has a better story than Destiny, which may not be saying much. Actually, better than Destiny and the Division, honestly, because
Yeah,
I actually
I have to agree.
cared for some of these characters that were actually pretty cool. And the main character, like they got the facial animation super right. When your character is being like sarcastic or kind of like a dick about things, you can see it in his face or her face, and it's absolutely marvelous. I absolutely love that. And his and well, I picked a male character, so I loved his reaction to things. Gameplay wise, it's fun. It's really fun. The grind is not so bad. The problem here is
Oh.
this is this is B tier as hell. All right, this is B tier as fuck. Okay, it gets so many things right. Like you can grab
That was very familiar.
a rare tier weapon, which is blue, and take it and take it to purple, or even a white tier weapon, and you can take it all the way to purple if you want. And to the point that even lets you like put in um more perks to it as if it was it's they have some really good systems, but holy shit, they messed up in so many more.
It's yeah.
I am not gonna go into that much detail about it because I could go for a very long time about it. I will mention that there is a lot of problems signing in despite all of the updates they've done. Like sometimes I
Really?
will sit
Shit.
there on the signing in uh, loading screen just doing nothing.
Is that still happening?
That is still happening. Like for the
Wow.
last couple of days before I played Destiny 2, which I have played a considerable amount, and for now I feel like I'm enjoying it before I drop it. I drop it off, but I'll get into that in a moment. I try to get into Outriders, and it's like, a minute, 2 minutes pass, and somebody says like, "Oh, I'm doing this on Destiny." Like, you know what? I'll join you. Fucking let me play something.
Yeah, at that point. Yeah, that's bad.
I just want to shoot something.
Damn.
I mean, at the beginning when it came out, because believe it or not, all this that you're saying is actually my gripes about it exactly, almost verbatim. And I was a little forgiving to the fact that, yeah, it takes a little bit to get into. I bet a lot of people are either playing it or they don't know how to handle the servers very well or whatever the case. But if you're telling me that it's been, what, a month now, a month and a half, and they're still haven't figured, they're still having issues. And
This is not
bet
just
that a lot of people have beat that game.
thing.
And what's that?
It's not just a launch day thing. Like,
Yeah.
some of the defense was, oh, they weren't expecting it to be this successful. Okay, I get that, but it's been a month now. You still haven't fixed anything. Like,
Yeah, what is the problem
man.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can only go so far. Yeah.
Right. So, it is on my short list of games to be deleted. Next time I need space for anything, that shit is.
Oh, it's
getting me
gone
hacked
already on my end.
so quickly. Really? Okay, so at least now I know. Next
You
time
have
we play
less
with
reason
Dark,
now.
we're going back to the division.
Yes. We are going back to the division. I think we took a nice break from this one.
Yes, we did. By the way, I did try the expeditions. I didn't get to expedition level 15 because I couldn't do it anymore. But the rewards when you go to how they break down the odds for the rewards. I
Mm.
was in tier 11, but I was playing mostly tier 10 until I was good enough to actually solo 11 because I was soloing everything,
Solo. Good
which you
shit.
can. I mean, I was playing the
Wow.
Trickster, which is like super OP, or even after the nerf, it's still super OP, which I'm fine with that. Like
Wow.
that's the reason that you're playing this character, especially on a PVE only game, is to feel OP as shit. So
Hmm.
um,
I got a feeling that Mad Dog is probably gonna talk about a game here that you might be wanting
oh
to
yes, I've
prick
been
your ears
keeping an eye
for.
on that. I've been keeping an
Yeah.
eye on that very closely.
You guys should talk. All
But
right.
the way they break down the odds, it's like at least on tier 10, I will get this wrong but it's something like 12% rare, 78% fucking what was it, epic, because the purples are epics here, and then the legendaries are the orange one. Was like I was up to like 12 or 18%, some shit like that, and
Mhm.
the vast majorities were blues, which are rare. So how are you gonna tell me that I have 78% on
So they don't
legendary
even
on
have.
epics, but you're gonna give me mostly blues? Like, nah, bro, nah, nah.
So even that part is
Guys,
sort of
don't
broken.
fucking lie to me. Don't like if you're gonna nerf it, okay, but at least tell me the right odds. Don't lie to me so
Yeah, for
blatantly like
sure.
this. And playing with random people as usual, it sucked because I mean, holy shit, I can only carry you so far. You gotta put some level of effort. God damn. Whew. Like I said, I could go on for a while. So
it's Outriders. We don't have to.
Outriders, 6 out of 10. Moving on. I spent.
Sir, we are
Sir.
using a new
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to
rating
look at.
system.
Yeah,
Oh
look
shit!
at the
Right, it's 1 to 5. So I guess
Yes.
look. I sent
please.
it to you in case you want to
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
on
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh shit!
pull it up
Just give
because
it a.
they
Yes, no,
don't
I
they
definitely
don't
give it
meet.
a 3 because that's actually very relatable. I do
That's
give it
good.
a 3 out of 5. It's good. It
Yeah.
does have its fair share of problems, but it does implement some systems that are kind of like out there that I wish they
Hmm.
would implement in every game because I feel it should be standard. Like upgrading your rare weapons into higher tier. That
Mhm.
shit is amazing. That should be in
Yeah.
every fucking game that relies on
Yeah.
like because
I
especially
agree.
since a lot of the models for the rares you don't find them in the purple category, whatever name they call it. So and I remember this from like playing with Sparrow in early, I don't know if it was Destiny 1. I don't know if I played with him Destiny 2, I doubt it. So I'm going with Destiny 1, where he had blue gear that he liked the look of it, but you could find anything purple that was that style. And
So.
this will
Mhm.
do a great transition to the problem as to why I'm gonna drop. I will probably drop Destiny 2 because of the way
Mm.
they're thinking of introducing the
The
transmog
new
option.
system, the trend. Yeah, I heard
Yes,
about that.
Oh
it's
yeah.
very disappointing. I know they're trying to monetize it, and that is really, really upsetting. It's
It sounds
not
like
a
a desperate
surprise.
move.
Yeah, it's not a surprise though. It's just
Right.
upsetting.
Yeah.
Okay, because they are going as far as limiting the number of items you can do in a season, which is 3 months long, to 10 individual pieces, which, if you take it by sets, is 2 complete sets of armor.
Mm.
Hmm.
And there's, from what I've gathered, it's not like I've really looked deep into this, but there's like 1,500 pieces of armor in Destiny 2 of
Damn.
legendary armor. Which I think I just hope they don't limit it to just legendary. They also include the rares because again, there are styles in the rares that you don't find in legendary and above. So why not? Why are you excluding the rares, guys? Come on. So that like 10 pieces in 3 months out of 1,500. Not to mention the ridiculous grind that you have to do for it. Now I'm all up for a good grind. I enjoy a good grind. But when you make me kill
We all do.
150 enemies to get one thing, then I have to do what is it? Bounties to complete to turn that one thing into another thing to
Mm.
then get the piece. Like you're making me go through like 3 different grinds in one, and that is not cool.
Don't they have like 3 different monetary systems now, or some shit like that?
Well, they have the
It's
Eververse,
confusing.
which is their store.
Right. Which that's always been there, yeah. But I'm talking about for the transmog.
Well, for the transmog, you basically just buy the final piece. That's what it lets you do. I think it's what is it? One for $3 and what is it? 5?
Wait, I could have sworn that I heard this was even more, complicated than that. Because I heard, I forgot who was it. Was he young yet? No, he doesn't. It was someone on YouTube that actually it was the video that you posted.
Yeah, which I mean, it's been more than a week since I last saw it, so I don't remember every detail.
It talked about that, and it sounded like I remember I was mowing the yard outside, and I kept hearing this. It's like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. Like, what are they doing to Destiny?
It's dumb. And I do remember from that video, he does point out that it feels like they're going really far with it, just to then scale it back down, apologize for going too far, but still going too far with it. Because even if you remove the cap, the whole grind process is ridiculous, and then you're also offering like a buyout option for it. I mean,
right.
Seriously, what is this system? And this is something that has been asked for so long, because I mean, even if it's a first-person shooter, which you don't see your player character all of the time, you still want to look good. I mean, seriously, fashion in these kind of games
it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing for a lot of people.
Yeah,
some people
the whole reason why you're grinding is to get cool gear, cool shit.
Yeah. Because you got the people that grind strictly just for the power of it. Then you got the people that grind for the look and the power, which is me. Then you got the people that just grind.
I always grind for the look.
Yes, to me the look it's important. It's super important. Whether it's here, like we call Warframe Fashion Frame, Dark Souls is Fashion Souls. Like we actually have names for this in the communities because it's a thing.
It's a thing.
And it's honestly surprising. Well, they did start monetizing it with like buying skins and shit. It's just it's kind of surprising it took this long for them to catch on that transmog is something that could be monetized, but it honestly really fucking should. I don't know if it's unavoidable though, because you know that people are gonna buy into it. Like I know for a fact that people will buy into it. The question is how much, and will it make this permanent or not?
If enough people buy into it,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it's what you said. They're gonna bring this to the extreme so that they can measure and see how much they could get away with it. They could say, they could come in later on and say, we've heard the community and we've actually decided to scale this back, and now instead of paying $4, you're gonna pay $2, and you're like, well, motherfucker, that's still $2 more than what I was paying for. Yeah. It's like,
and
that's an example.
They're fine. At least one of the changes they're doing that's coming up is the shaders. The shaders will just be unlockables instead of like an actual consumable item. Which, I mean, it took them this long to actually do that. Come on, guys. It should have been a given from the get-go, but whatever. They're finally doing
the shaders that are quintessential to the look of your character.
Yes, which at least...
You don't want your character to look like a clown.
Right, and then they eventually made it so that it's not the whole armor. You can actually color individual pieces of it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they're kind of slow on things, but eventually they do catch on. So, I mean... I play a lot for looks. I know people that don't. They just don't care. But I do. And if you're gonna like try to like make me pay for it, I'm really gonna hate you for it, because a lot of games have done this for free, so much better than you are, and then you dare to charge me for it. I mean, even in Final Fantasy 14, well, yes, I understand it's a pay to play game, but it does charge you for other services. It's not like it's not free on microtransactions. There are microtransactions in this game, anyways, but they're like really small. They're really like what is it? You can buy some costumes and whatnot. You can also hire more, basically to have more bank space. I can't remember the name, what they call the NPC. But anyways, the way they do the transmog over there, you go to like an inn and you have this plates, which is basically a loadout of what you want that your look to look like, right? And you can do it by class. You can do one that's for any class by just not equipping a weapon. Um, and you have all of the you put the gear that you want, you put it inside this thing, right? So you can no longer use that item because you're using it for look, which I agree, it's a fair, if the fair trade, fuck it,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to like older loot that you're never going to use again, right? And then wherever, as long as you're in a city, you can change the look of your character depending on the place that you have set up. It's an interesting way to do it. It sounds kind of convoluted. It really isn't though, and I find it to be very. It's pretty good because if you're upgrading your gear as you're questing, for example, like I was, because I hadn't finished the story yet, all I had to do was go back to a city, to a sanctuary zone, and just update the not update, but just replace the new gear that I got with the look that I wanted to, like with no hassle at all. And now you're over here making me grind for three different items before I can actually get one piece of gear to look like something, to turn it into an ornament, a universal ornament. Nah, bro. No, 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 mm-mm. No, no,
Negative.
negative on that shit. So that is, again, that is actually a big deal for me because I play a lot for looks. I work very much on the look of my warlock, and that includes the shader and everything. So no.
Here's the thing. I don't have a problem. Like, I understand, games that I understand the reasoning behind live services having monetizations and some of some sort.
Right.
I understand that keeping servers and all that, it's expensive, and not only that, but also the marketing to keep the people playing, so that hey, when you go in, you actually have people to play with. Like I understand all that, but this attack almost sounds kind of like egregious against your fan base. It's like, okay, so the people that don't care about that, they're not gonna care about that. They're just gonna
Right.
continue playing just normal. But the people that your core fan base that are already very invested in the way they look and the weapons and whatnot and all that, those are the people that are paying them, the most for it, metaphorically and literally speaking. And that's a pro. That's where it gets. It's not even a slippery slope anymore. You're already falling down the rabbit hole
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point.
Like I don't mind paying for playable content. I really don't. I
Right.
pay for expansions. I play for
Me too.
and all of this shit. Whatever. What's the other
Yeah.
name they have for DLC
If it's good, I'll support
expansions?
it. Yeah.
I'm all for it. But come on, man. When I was already sliding enough with buying skins, but now you're also gonna monetize transmog. Like, I mean, seriously, seriously,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
So I just hope there's enough backlash to this because again, I am willing to drop this game altogether, and that's gonna free up a lot of hard drive disk. I'm okay with, I mean, with the
A lot of time, probably.
I'm not
Also.
SSD, but it's gonna save up a lot of memory. I'm all for it. I got other games I want to download, bitch.
And not a lot of space on the
Yeah,
PS5.
you are very replaceable. You are not indispensable, Destiny. Get your shit together. Uh, Let me see. Other than that, I have been binge watching the shit out of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think
Oh,
I'm up to like
nice.
season 5 or 6, and I know that they're ending it. I think it's season 8, the last season that they're gonna do, which is really why I started binge watching it because I want to be up to date up to when that releases. Not really for any reasons. I really don't know anybody else that watches this to the level that I do.
My wife and my son, they were into that shit, dude. I was in and out of it because they were watching it, and when I watched it with them, it's some funny ass shit. I'm not even gonna lie, it's some funny
It
ass fucking
is.
shit.
It's so.
Yeah.
At least I laugh so hard at the cringiness or whenever they're actually genuinely funny. I love it. I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. The Captain Holt is my favorite character.
Yeah,
Jake
he's
Peralta
awesome, yeah.
coming in second. Yes, they're absolutely hilarious. So I've been binge watching that. I did watch obviously Mortal Kombat since it'd be kind of retarded to do a spoiler cast without watching the movie. So I did watch Mortal Kombat, but I also saw Godzilla versus King Kong.
Nice. There we go.
Oh yes.
Yes, I there's two ways to this. I can give you a super short but effective review, or I can go into more in depth about it. But it's really
We
not
went in
gonna
depth.
say it's really not gonna say much more than the short one. Okay, so here's the short one. I'm gonna let you guys decide after this. Human scenes bad, monster fights good.
Nailed it.
That was perfect. That's perfect. The review was even better than the movie.
Yeah. Exactly. Now we won in depth, sir.
Now, that being said, I do give this a 3.5. Let me see, according to the scale. Yes, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5, which
Nice.
is
Okay.
really good.
Really good. Yeah.
Because I knew beforehand that anything that included humans, I wasn't gonna care for, and then I was so accurate in that prediction that it didn't bother me at all. They were completely pointless to what I really wanted to see. But those fights were amazing. Even
They were
even
really
if at
well
some
done.
points they were really had me like scratching my head, like what the fuck is happening? That was so entertaining that it was well worth it going through like the death of wives and the like missing children and shit. Nope, I don't give a crap about none of that. Show me some Godzilla versus Kong, guys. And they did. They delivered. It was
They
very
delivered,
good.
yep.
I loved it. I loved the fights were, like I said, absolutely amazing.
I have a question, Chaos.
Yeah.
Because this thing seemed to have bothered my dad actually when he saw the movie. He liked it. He liked it quite a bit. But he thought that the monsters suddenly the were kind of too sentient, like to be like giant beasts, you know. They were like Kong, forget it. He could talk sign language. Spoiler, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
there we go. Yeah. Super spoilers. Nobody cares.
but
Moving on.
it's, you know,
Nobody cares. That has to do with the humans, and nobody cares.
Yeah. That's true.
but even Godzilla and some of the decisions that I decided to make, it was like, and of course,
his problem was that the monsters were too smart.
yeah, it was like, okay, these people are kind of like they don't act like rabid beasts, you know, bent on destruction and whatnot. You know, they are like Godzilla has a specific purpose, and once he's done or he feels like, okay, you know, I've accomplished enough here, he just picks up and leave. You know, doesn't matter if there's still humans alive or whatnot. It's like,
Wait, are you talking about like the old Godzilla?
Or the old.
No, he's talking about the new
I'm talking about this movie. Yeah, this movie.
Okay, because the Godzilla, and I guess we're gonna go into some spoiler territory. The Godzilla in this movie only attacks the facilities that were housing Mechagodzilla.
Holy shit! That's a major spoiler right there. Okay, but we're in spoiler territory, I guess.
Yeah. Plus, again, nobody fucking cares.
Yeah, whoever edits this.
I mean, I'm not gonna spoiler who wins the fights because that fucking matters.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
anything to do with humans, nobody cares.
Because that matters. That reminds me of a show where everybody gets points, but none of the points matter. That's what I remember.
Yep, there
Everybody
you go.
gets a point.
There you go. Welcome
to
GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
Yep, that's awesome.
The points don't matter. So,
Yeah.
So that's all he was doing. I mean, when he beams down to because Hollow Earth theory, yes,
Oh,
fuck you very
God.
much. When he beams into the center of the Earth because Kong is down there, again, he's just being drawn to energy. And I mean, why would you question the intelligence of beings that have the brain like 20 times our size?
I don't know. I didn't. That was my dad. You talk to him. You got a problem? You talk to him.
It's an interesting critique for sure. Yeah.
I just read the message you sent me. That's okay. I did give a warning like right before it, just be. I guess.
I know we're kind of I know, but
like really
that's
close
like that's literally that's yeah.
That's
I don't think one would have contained
close.
that level of spoiler. So just to make sure, I just want to be clear.
Just in case we don't spoil anything super interesting.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'll be honest with you. That part actually surprised me. Now, I'm not into the whole, like, I am, like, I didn't care. Like, I watched Kong. I didn't care about, to watch Godzilla. I know Godzilla. I'm not, like, super into the lore or anything like that. But I know of, the monsters. But seeing that, I was like, okay, that's cool. It was sort of expected. Like, I can see, like, anybody that would have, that is a little bit more into the lore than me, obviously would have expected that. To me, it was a cool explanation. It gave it a good, an acceptable explanation
where
to me.
Coming from. Mm-hmm.
Yes, to me.
I mean, again, I give it a 3.5.
A 3.5.
Really enjoy the fights. Again, anything with humans was pointless and honestly pretty stupid. Especially, oh my god.
Especially the
oh my god, it's about as bad
Scooby in the gang.
It's about as bad as Flat Earth.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's all. I mean, I did re-download Ark the Lad Twilight of the Spirit, which is a PlayStation 2 game.
Damn.
Wow.
Yes, I really do like that game and the story in it. And so I played the original on the PlayStation 2. Probably thanks to a friend. I borrowed it from someone. If I remember correctly, it might have been Zero. I don't know. Anyways, and then I re-downloaded it for the PlayStation 3, and I did it again for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And I did it again for the PlayStation 5.
It's just that good of a title. Hey, man. Respect.
It holds. It's not the best game ever. It's really not. But it still holds a special place in my non-existent heart.
Okay.
There you go.
So
my non-existent.
I had to give it that edge. I had to go with the edge.
Oh, he has to go edgy every time.
And
I thought about it, and I knew it was edgy. I mean, I'm pretty much holding blades in my hands right now. That's how edgy that shit sounded like. But I consciously went with it, and I don't care.
Nice. All right, thank you so much, sir, for catching us up, Mr. Dream Twister. What, sir, have you been up to?
Oh God, I can't even with this one. You know what? I don't even want to. I almost don't even want to talk about what I've been playing this week.
Why?
But I guess I am contractually obligated to do so.
I mean, you kind of yelled at me the other day because I interrupted you.
I know. Yes. I did. I was ready. I was into it. I was excited. Of course, we're talking about Nier Replicant, which was released last week, and you guys got a little bit of a tease last week when I mentioned I started playing it. I've only played 3 hours, and my concerns were starting to bubble at that time. I was like,
"Oh no, are you serious?"
Yeah. Well,
because let me tell you, because of your excitement, I almost bought into it myself.
Did you play out Nier Automata?
No, I really, really should, but I haven't.
You should. You definitely should play Nier Automata. Yeah. And that game, I think I saw this deal that PlayStation is doing. I think it has it for like $20.
Okay, then I'll really look into it because honestly, the way that you've always spoken about it, it sounds like a game that I would personally enjoy.
Yeah. Well, and mind you, with open mind, this is not the most graphically intensive, like unbelievable ride that you're gonna have. This game,
I'm okay with that.
You're gonna appreciate the things that it does well, but you're gonna also have like I this is one of my favorite games, and I'm willing to accept. Yeah, but it has a lot of flaws and a lot of places where I'm like, ooh, no, I don't know how I feel about this.
Listen, let me just say that I played Digital Devil Saga and I accepted it for what it was.
There you go.
I absolutely love it for it.
You are the perfect candidate, sir, for it.
I feel like I would enjoy it. Yeah.
Can I ask you for a favor? When you play this game to completion, because you always play games to completion, can I ask you that you stay all the way to the credit? It's kind of important that you do.
Okay.
Don't go out and grab a sandwich like some people that should remain not named.
Not mentioned.
No, exactly. Let's not mention.
It's not my fault the damn game didn't hold on to me. That's all I'm saying.
I said no names.
He reveals himself.
The sandwich spoke to me more. So I was like, yes, sandwich, I'm going to go to the kitchen and go make you.
Oh, man. Oh, brother. All right. So you guys want to hear about my
I'm dying to fucking hear about your complaints.
All right. So allow me to put my thoughts in paper while my feelings on this game are fresh in my mind. I believe we have officially lost one of the things that we trust the most when it comes to the gaming industry, and that is the art of game reviews. And I'll explain why in a moment. Let me start by saying that Nier Automata, the way with its flaws and all, it had no right to be the excellent game that it ended up being, and the success that I'm sure Square Enix did not anticipate that it was going to be. You know, it was a special game. It wasn't the prettiest, and it has its tropes, but it had one of the finest existential stories delivered in video game form, I will say. So obviously, I was very excited to play when Nier Replicant was announced. Nier Replicant, for those who don't know, is a remake of a Nier Automata prequel that nobody played when it was out. It probably has its fans, but
wait. Is it really connected to that Nier game?
Yeah, it is that Nier
in
game.
A very weird way.
Yeah. You know,
it is.
Go ahead.
It is, but when you play it, you wouldn't think so. Maybe later in the story, but I couldn't tell you. Well, that game came out on PlayStation 3, I want to say.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Yeah. It was probably, I don't know, a meh out of 10 game. I don't know what.
Yeah,
I remember that game because I remember it being a Square Enix joint, and I was like, this is something I could be interested in. And then I saw the reviews, and everything was like average as fuck. I was like, and I passed on it.
Yeah, exactly. Average as fuck in PlayStation 3 days. So
in PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Right.
You guys remember? I waited that Friday. I was counting the clock at midnight. I was very excited for it, and then I put 3 hours before I had to go to bed, and then we recorded the
obviously
podcast.
You had to do an update before you played it.
Yeah, I needed to talk about it in the podcast. I need to talk about something that I played that was new. Well, I will say I probably have put about 12 or 13 hours in Nier Replicant, which is obviously it's not enough to beat the game by any stretch of the imagination. It's not even close to break the beginning area of it. I will say, well, areas. You definitely go to different places, but I can tell you right now, after 12 or 13 or so hours of Nier Replicant, that this game is a total waste of your time and an unmitigated colossal disappointment.
Wow, that is way harsher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. If you, and let me say, if you know what, if you hate me for saying this, that's good. That's fine. The listener, you're entitled to your opinion. Maybe it gets better at the 20th hour mark. I don't know. Maybe the story will end up stockholding me into thinking that it is one of the best games of the year. Like it has seemed to have Stockholm some of the reviewers that have seen that, that have played this game. I wasn't expecting it to be better than Automata. All right. I already knew what I was getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted it to be good, and I can't say this game was good because I was not having fun after 10 hours, of it. So how many more hours do I need to sacrifice in the name of entertainment? You tell me.
Life's too fucking short. Fuck that.
That's the thing. I was looking forward to this game, and I saw it from the beginning. I had my concerns because when they showed those graphics, I was like, ooh, that kind of looks like Nier Automata look, but a little bit worse. But I was like, I was okay with letting that go, thinking that okay, maybe that's it's a remake of a 10-year-old or 10 or 12-year-old game.
Yeah, a little over 10 at this point.
Yeah, a little over 10. Okay,
is it a remake or is it a sequel? I'm so confused.
It's a remake of Nier, the original Nier. Yeah.
Oh, that's what
Nier's,
this is?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, this is a remake. This is a remake.
Oh,
this game came in prior to Nier Automata. Now, to make matters more confusing, and I'm not going to explain too much on it because I'm confused myself. But this is actually the second game. Like, they released this game. The first time they released this game, your character you were playing as a dad, and you were trying to look for the cure for the ill, to cure your sick daughter.
Right, I remember that was part of the first game.
Right. Well, then they remade that game like only a couple of years later. My understanding is that they did that in Japan, and they made it so that it's not going to be his dad anymore. Now is his brother. And then
sounds like some really hardcore anime shit.
Yes, yeah, they changed. I mean, it was almost the same story. They just changed who the character was.
Really?
So
Why?
This one is, I don't know, because it's Square Enix, bro.
How does it affect the story overall? Is it less?
And then, I mean, it affected a shit ton. If you think that it's not even the dad anymore, it's actually the brothers. Like I don't know. I would say, and this actually are not my words. These are the words I'm going to quote Eurogamer, who put it very well. You have played a better Nier game already. This reissue is meant for Lord nerds, for hardcore fans, for completionists, old school Nier evangelists, and basically everyone who has already decided to buy this game before reading this. End quote.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, not even Eurogamer was saying this game is shit. It was not saying that. It was just saying like, listen, do not expect this to be anything better than Automata Nier Automata is, because it's not. But it's still the tone of the rest. It's making it sound like, okay, maybe it's not that, but it'll still be an interesting ride and an interesting story. And who knows? Again, it might end up being that. But I just don't care to search for it anymore because I was bored. This game had bad graphics. This game, on the year of our Mad Dog 2021, looks like
Lord
a
and
PlayStation
Savior.
2. This game looks like a PlayStation 2 game. It looked like, I can't imagine this being a PlayStation 3 game because it looks bad.
That's rough. Not even like an early PlayStation 3?
Early PlayStation 3 looked like PlayStation 2. So
let's say that. Yes. I think you nailed it there. Okay. Let's say that.
That's still rough, though. That's still rough as fuck.
The textures are bad. They were flat earth textures, and it was just ugly. And then I think at one point I was just joking, texting Mad Dog that the game presented me with the first interesting challenge. My favorite part of any game. Fishing.
Oh my god.
Fucking fishing.
Stop.
So, dude, you know what the problem is? You're playing all this time and you're starting to notice like, man, this game is nothing but just like boring ass basic fetch quest, and not even, and I'm talking about the bad ones, not interesting one where like they kind of like move the story or has some interesting thing. I'm not talking about Witcher Quest or anything that has some semblance of being interesting. No, I'm talking about literally bring me 10 pieces of mutton, and when they bring it back, okay, here's 1,000 gold.
Be creative about the item you brought back.
No, bring me 10 pieces of hide or whatever, and here's 1,500 gold, and that's it's that. It is like, again, I do not understand. I don't understand
either, because I was just looking at, just kind of wanted to bring up some review scores. You know what I mean? For
this
the
Replicant.
The 80s. Yeah, it's up there. It is like significantly up there. It's
but
like,
it's
doesn't
not
make sense
according to you.
According to me, after 10 hours, like, yes, you know what? At some point, because Nier Automata, it doesn't give the first good, the first impression that it actually. I take that back. It actually does give a good impression.
I was going to say,
it starts
off
right in
cool,
action.
Yeah.
I take it back. But there's a point where you're playing Nier Automata, and unless you're like into the music, like I was into the music, so I really like the score of that game. It's like fucking mind blowing, amazing. But at one point, there were points on that game where I was like thinking, like, I know I like Platinum games, and I'm a big fan of like Bayonetta and those type of games, but this ain't it. This is not giving me that level of play. I mean, yes, the fighting is fast and it's cool, but it's not to the level of those games. It's not a Devil May Cry or anything like that.
To a 3D bullet hell, right?
Well, that's the thing.
It goes in between. Yeah, it flows between a bunch of different genres.
Okay.
Yeah,
it shows that I have not played this game at all.
No, you're not ready to. Yeah,
no,
you're not ready for the level of. I don't know. It goes into so many different things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me tell you what this one decided to throw at me. So, good, bad, and the ugly. I'll be quick on this one. The good is the game did not crash or seem to have any bugs.
Oh wow! Cyberpunk 2077 says hello.
The game ran smoothly.
Actually, Outrider says hello too.
Yeah. No, this game runs fine without day one patch or anything like that. No, in all seriousness, that was definitely one. But also, like the fighting is the fighting is. It was entertaining. I'll say that. I'll say that the monsters that you're fighting, though, they're not interesting in the least. But at least the fighting itself was cool to pull off some movements and whatnot. But again, nothing spectacular. You have definitely played tons of games that are better. And again, the fighting in Nier Automata is not all that either. That was not what the game was particularly about. That game is better than the sum of its parts. Nier Automata. This one, I just want to tear it apart.
Oh my god!
The bad, I will say the graphics of the game. I already told you they're atrocious.
That wouldn't be the ugly.
Well, yes. Okay, let's make that the ugly. The thing with this one, because again, Nier Automata did not have pretty graphics, but at least the sci-fi setting.
It looked good though. I remember Nier Automata looking like a very good game.
It looked okay.
It looks pretty good. Yeah.
It looked okay.
Again,
I was not.
It's not mind-blowingly good, but it looks good. Like
not God of War
from its current generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does, and I think that was helped a lot because of the sci-fi setting and the post-apocalyptic barren of all humans world. It kind of made the dilapidated buildings look like a believable setting,
Mm-hmm.
It was not particularly nice to look at, but it was vast and open. I will say that. But this graphics, dude, again, you described it perfectly. Early PlayStation 3 era. And I know some of you guys are thinking that I'm just exaggerating and just shitting on this game because I did not like it, but I invite you guys to go to YouTube, crank the video to maximum quality, and watch watch gameplay of this and pause. Huh?
and
enjoy the shit show.
And enjoy the shit show. Exactly. Tell me that the PS4 could not do better.
It did in Automata.
I mean, all you gotta look at is like Horizon Zero Dawn, you don't have to go that far.
No. It's the music, which again in Automata I fucking love. In this one, the music, it is, I'll say, like I like the tone of the music in Automata. In Replicant, it sounds like something that came out of, make your own, JRPG maker for Steam. Honestly, there's no memorable music. It sounds generic. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on it because it's not like it's like super terrible. But when you're comparing it with the music of Automata, like this just doesn't cut it at all. It has a very uninspiring, almost like overworld music that borderlines on sounding a bit bombastic at times. And that Mad Dog hates the bombastic overworld music.
Yes,
so
he does.
Yeah. I am shitting in this game too much.
Oh God, this game is trash.
The game, it presents you with some puzzles and they're like half-assed. Like there is
trash. Play the original PlayStation 3 game and ignore this one, ladies and gentlemen.
I bought this game at $60. $60. This game at $40 would have been an fucking ripoff.
Yo, I paid that for Outriders, and I feel like, this is at least I enjoyed some of it.
I enjoyed, I said, you know what? I can't complain because I had hours of fun. I mean, I'm not gonna touch it again ever, probably.
Right, but what you played, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that story for what it was. On this one, this one has the potential to probably be like the story of the, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets put on story of the year or whatever on game of the year talks, but I don't care because none of it carried me towards it. I did not care.
So here's some interesting for me. I know you don't go to this website, but it sounds like you don't give a shit about this game anymore. So I'm gonna just mention this.
Well,
come on, I'm not gonna spoil it. But I have this website that I go to all the time, howlongtobeat.com, basically, just to go. I can get. Because I'm obsessed with time, so just to get an understanding of
you are calendar man.
Yeah. What is it that I'm going to be getting into essentially? So the main story by itself on Nier Replicant was 16 and a half hours. So doesn't sound like you were that far unless you were spending a lot of time on extras.
Yeah,
or unless it's like multiple playthroughs like Automata.
Well, it says main story, and that's usually because let me see what the other one. It doesn't matter, but it says here main story and extras is 35 and a half hours. So
I think this
at
game
the most you were a third of the way of completing the whole game.
Completionist has it listed at 80 and a half.
So it is a replayable, because one thing that you're gonna do in Automata is that
to be replayable.
Yeah, but no, it's kind of like, you want to really consider beating it, you have to, because it presents you with an ending and the roll credits and all that, but that's not the real ending. You're not supposed to play like that. You're supposed to continue.
What you're saying, like the intent was to make it replayable, but if the actual gameplay it's boring and it sucks, then it's not replayable.
I think I would have put it at
but you didn't.
I got my ending. I would have been happy with just if I would have rolled credit. And to be honest, I like to explore. So I know that I probably didn't reach that as far as other people that would have actually been on the 12 or 13 hour mark. But again, I didn't care because they were sending me out to pick up like 10 lizard tails and 10 mouse tails. I fucking kid you not. That is literally a quest.
That sounds like level 1 questing.
That is literally a quest that you do on that game. And I was like, no, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm done. And then On top of that, which I guess I'm just gonna jump into what the ugly was.
Really
It's
can't get
like
any more generic than that. Mouse tails and lizard tails.
mouse tails. Yeah. The ugly, I was probably, aside from the graphics, of course, it was that. So you're taking care of your sister. Your sister is sick, right? Your little sister, she acts a little too weird towards you, like a little too like.
Too
Almost
lovey
like
dovey.
Are you fucking in love with me or something? Like
almost like a daughter. Oh my god, I love. Oh,
no, I would say
Yeah, I was gonna
almost
say, I
like
think you're the
someone that
wrong-
wants to fuck you.
That's just.
If
You went a
anything,
completely different direction there, sir.
I
That
was
says it
feeling
all,
a
though.
little.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
feeling uncomfortable with some of the and clingy as hell, and so like the game has some loading time. Oh, also the loading times are not great in this game. I mean, they're not awful. They're not fucking Anthem, but it was taking me a little bit longer than I anticipated, and that I knew that the PS5 could actually load into. Mind you, I have a digital version of this game. To go to the next to the next area, and every time it loads, it presents you with something like something she wrote on the diary, and it's always about you, and it's always about how much she misses you, and always about, oh, I gotta get good at cooking so that I can prepare a meal for David, because I make the mistake of naming my character after myself. Makes it even made it even more creepy.
cringier.
Even cringier still. It was the fact that it presented that.
David, I
And-
miss you so much, David.
Yes, literally, dude.
my
Literally. And then she leaves me, I kid you not, she leaves me letters in my mailbox. We live together. We live together in the same place.
Just
We
tell
live together
me.
in the same crappy house, and she goes to the mailbox to deliver a letter that I'm gonna pick up when I go into the house where she's in. It is the most ridiculous thing, bro. And it is yeah, it was
What
too
is
creepy.
happening? What are you talking? Are you serious? This is real.
It was too. Yes, it's like, okay, so are you? Do you? Is it?
Oh,
Am
wow.
Are we related? It's like it's. I hope that little
Tell me the
sister is
truth,
your nickname,
girl.
because
Am
in
I
reality you're not,
adopted?
because you seem like you want to get some. I don't know. It was
Tell me the
embarrassing.
truth. Am I adopted?
I know, right? The whole thing. And you know what the sad part is? I'm not even the game. The game starts you off and it doesn't start like Nier Automata. It doesn't throw you into like super action and craziness. It's like, no, but at least it opens up a mystery that you're like, oh, okay, you got my attention. I want to know. I want to know what happened here. Why is this like this? But it just doesn't hold up when you have me like picking up, seeds for an old lady that is sitting by the fountain because she wants me to get them, and that's a quest. Like, the fuck out of here! Like, what are you reviewers playing for real? Or is this game?
It's widespread, man. Yeah, it's widespread. It's getting nothing but. There's no bad reviews that I've seen.
Yes, and it scares me because either did I pick up the wrong game?
Dream Twister is the prophet.
Dude, or the anti game. I don't know. Like, what am I playing? What type of version am I playing?
Is this, people? What the?
I want to know. I want to know because for all the praises and things, like, I did not get not even a sliver of that. Maybe at the beginning it sounded like it was going there, but nothing. And then I ended up hating this game so much that I told you at one point I was like, I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, and I texted Mad Dog, dude, I'm done with this game. I uninstalled it. It's out. I don't plan on going back to it. It'll have to be some. Do you know what? Someone will have to tell me like, oh, you know what? This is what the game wants you to believe that it is, and the developers were very smart because all along it has you thinking that it's this type of game, but in reality, it opens up and it is this other type of game.
So you played 10 hours of this game, but
12.
you are too stupid to realize what the developers were going for? Come on.
No.
I mean,
it's eventually. It's just like, I think it's going to be similar to Automata, but similar in the sense that it's really way into the story where things start to really progress when it comes to, and I think for me, the way you feel now, sir, is how I didn't hate Automata, but I was just like, I don't see what everybody's talking about here. And I finished Automata, and yes, I walked away the credits because at that point I'm like, I'm done. You know what I mean? But I think you're sort of in the same place. The difference, you're more frustrated because you actually have a love for Automata, and this one here, you know, and you know, obviously you feel also probably a little misled by all the glowing reviews. So I think that's where you're a little bit more not hating, but you know what I mean. You're a little more not really liking.
No, let's not mince words. I am hating.
I mean, I
hate this. I'm hating hard.
Yeah, I hate this game, and you know how I was telling you that the game have like you were mentioning, or you Matt was mentioning that Automata opens up into like different perspectives, changes the perspective of the game, and suddenly you're playing like a bullet hell, and suddenly you're playing like a side scroller, and it plays with perspective on it to make it at least interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what this game did when this is the part where I literally went like, I'm done. The game literally became, and I'm not kidding, and this is a spoiler, I guess, if you guys are interested and you want to hear about it. The game became a literal text adventure game. A text adventure game.
Honestly, the way that you pictured it, I think you were gonna go with like a dating simulator or something.
No, because this is exponentially worse. Because a text adventure game has no graphics.
I know.
It's a text adventure game.
Words.
It's literally words on the screen. You're reading what's happening. It narrates it, and then it tells you, what choice do you want to make, and then depending on the choices you make, it progresses. And I was stuck there for almost half an hour, just purely reading. No voice acting. No voice acting. I kid you not. This happened in the game that is getting glowing reviews. I was almost half an hour just reading, and I was done with that quest. I was done with that quest finally. But what happens in that area? There are two other
quests,
NPCs that have quests, and because the whole thing with that area is like, and this is how stupid it gets. It's the land of, they're all living inside their dreams. Okay, well now I have to like jump into their dreams. Whatever. Let me do this next quest to see maybe it's gonna be a shorter version of this text game. Nope, it is just as long. And this one, you make a wrong choice, you die, it's game over. And you have no way of knowing because it's a text game. It takes no skill. You kind of have to guess the right answer. Like, go north, go west, go south, go west. Oh, you enter into a room, this happened, you're dead. Game over.
Really?
Go back.
That's kind of how I remember those adventures to be.
That
but okay.
That was it. That was the part where I was like, no, fuck you, game. I am not repeating half an hour of just reading.
I don't blame you for that.
I am done. Like, this was a joke. This was, at this point, this was a joke. Have you ever heard Chaos of the game Frog Fractions?
What?
Yes. I said, you heard me right. A game called Frog Fractions.
What the fuck?
So Frog Fractions.
That's a no.
That's a solid no, sir.
Frog Fractions it's a game. It's a very basic game, kind of like for kids. What it has to do with with frogs. It presents you with a mathematical equation on top. You're a frog in a lily pad.
Wow. Okay.
And it presents you with some mathematical questions, and then you capture the answer with your tongue. You go like, bloop, and you get it. It's meant for kids, right?
You're
it's like the
hurting
thing
my
that they will put
brain,
you to play in elementary school,
Okay.
at school, right? Right? That's frog fractions.
Okay. Oh,
Or
God.
so you think.
Please
Because-
don't. Please don't.
Because the game suddenly, if by accident, by the way, you can play this now. You can actually go on the computer, look for frog fractions, and you can play this on a browser. I will highly encourage you, sir, so you can experience this thing. The game, if by accident you happen to jump out of the lily pad and fall into the ocean, once you get like special powers and craziness, because you get like crazy powers at one point, that's when you start realizing like, okay, no, this game is now for kids, because this is too weird. And then it opens up and it turns into like this crazy ass game and it could be anything. It could be it could be a puzzler, it could be an action adventure, it could be a fucking text adventure. Like, it goes places.
Sir, I feel like I'm on an acid trip with you, and I need a destination. I don't know where you're going with this.
So they made a sequel, and the funny thing with the sequel of this game was that the developers said the game is out, but you guys are not gonna know where it is. Like, it's up to you guys to find this game. It's out. It's released. It's actually out. You can play it now if you know where to find it. And the thing was that it was tricky because the second part was a game that ended up being hidden into another crappy game, where by playing or like doing some weird shit on this crappy game, you actually unlock Frog Fractions 2. And it took like a year for someone to finally realize it, to finally find the secret. And that was awesome because it was stupid. It was awesome. Well, I was thinking that maybe this game was Frog Fractions 3, that at some point it was just going to take me on a trip, and I was going to be like blown, like lost, like, okay, I see now. Like, oh, like that meme of that guy looking at the sky. It's like, oh,
that was
like
the weirdest payoff to any story I've heard.
It is. I thought it was going to be Frog Fractions 3. Dude, I'm telling you, you're gonna, once you sober up, you're gonna have to listen to this again.
This dude went into so much detail that I was lost to what the hell we're talking about here.
Look for Frog Fractions. Definitely look for Frog Fractions.
Oh, what the fuck have you done to me?
Yes, please do. And with that, that's enough. Like, that is all I could have actually stomached of Nier Replicant. So, and that's all I've done.
So wait. What's the score, bro?
I mean,
can't just
you can't.
I mean,
just
we need to hear it.
you
We need to hear it.
compare it to some random game that I didn't even know existed.
So Frog Fraction is a solid 4 out of 5.
Get the fuck out of here with this Frog Fraction shit, bro.
You guys have to play Frog Fractions to realize the awesomeness that it is. But I think you were referring to Nier Automata, to Nier Replicant, and I cannot. In all fairness, I cannot score this game because I didn't play to completion.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't matter. I mean,
well, it matters to me. It matters. I'll tell you what I could do. I could give it a preliminary score. If you were to ask me about, like, this is not I wouldn't call this my final score or anything like that. But I will tell you that if I were to right now score this game based on my experience with it, I will not score it any higher than a 2.0. This game is really mediocre.
Okay,
really
that sounds about
mediocre.
right. That sounds like what it'll probably finish as well. I mean, but yeah, that's you're rating your experience. Like he said, you're rating your experience with the game. We're not professional.
It's subject to change. It's subject to change.
That's fine.
If I go like, I wouldn't put this on Metacritic, but if I were to like, at one point find myself so bored or so broke that I can't, play anything else. I don't have anything else on my backlog because I have beaten every game on my backlog and and then I decide to, okay, let's just see what the big fuss was about. And I ended up like, because this has happened before, with other games. And I always loved experiencing that, like having that moment. I just don't see it because this is ugly in like every area, I need to remind you of the little sister character that was,
That's
texting
scary,
me,
yeah.
booty calling me, and oh no, she wasn't doing that, but she was leaving
She might well have.
written to me.
It was the character I'm thinking of. I saw how she was dressed. We all know what she was trying to get. So
no, it's not that character. Actually, I didn't even. No, that the little sister is it's actually a child, which makes it even worse. Makes it even exponentially worse.
Jesus.
The scantily clad character. It's funny because like the character when she meets her, he's like, why is this person fighting in her underwear? And it's like, well, she literally is. When you look at her, she
just barely.
Like yeah, exactly. She barely covers her ass. And then, you know what? This game was not awful or really awful because whoever makes the voice of the book that follows you, you have a talking book. There's a book that floats next to you and that fires and that helps you fight and whatnot. And his voice acting is awesome. I have to give it that. It is on this. It's like the only redeeming thing that this game has. Whoever.
I mean, also the game isn't broken. You know what I mean? I always hit it. It was a broken ass fucking game.
That's giving participation medals at this point. Exactly. Well, you're not Cyberpunk, so I want to let you pass.
There you go. Exactly. Oh man, sir, I am so sorry for your experience. That just sucks, bro. For real.
It's so many levels and ways and fractions.
And I can't believe you brought that game up again. All right, real quick, I'm just gonna kind of roll through what I have been doing throughout the week.
Taking your whole time.
I'm gonna talk about some games, but I am gonna kind of quickly go through what I watched. I got up and watched the fifth Fast and Furious film, Fast Five, and I gotta say, definitely a lot of fun. Enjoyed the film. A lot of shit that doesn't make sense, and like at some point you start questioning physics and go, "Yeah, I don't think that's how that works." But you don't give a shit. A lot of explosions, a lot of fun, a lot of cars, a lot of racing. You get to see Gal Gadot, and this is like her premiere role. And dude, she was a walking pencil for sure, bro. She was like super fucking thin back then. So I remember when they were mentioning Gal Gadot had put on weight or put on muscle for Wonder Woman, and we looked at Wonder Woman. I was like, she doesn't look like she put on any weight. What are you talking about? Yeah, she put on some fucking weight. So, like, she was super bony, super thin. I think that's kind of bad. She was super thin in Fast Five. But anyway, saw that. I enjoyed it. I'm going to continue my trek through the Fast series. I did finish Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is on Disney Plus, and I wanted to just quickly say I really dig this show. I don't think it was, to me, as good as WandaVision. It does have some really awesome moments. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil here. Both the main characters, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they really do play off each other well, very similar to the way they did in the films. There's some villains in this that I think are some of the coolest villains. You know what I mean? I was like, this is missing from like the films. I was like, man, I really wish this person existed like this. In hello?
Really? Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, but I can tell you because again, I don't want to spoil who's in it.
Me personally, I want to finish WandaVision before I get into that. Yeah, WandaVision. Sorry, WandaVision before I get into that, which I know me and Miss Reaper are pretty close to the end of it, so it just.
WandaVision is really good, actually surprisingly good.
We've been busy with a lot of other things, but so far, yes, I agree. It's really good, and I like what I've seen so far.
What I like about these two shows, and it also plays off here in Falcon with the Soldier, is how Marvel is dealing with the 5-year gap. If anybody who hasn't seen Endgame, even though I'm sure everybody in the world has, we all know what the 5-year gap was, how they are dealing with that. And I think that's some of the most fascinating things about this, because it's like, man, you didn't think about it.
Is that what this is about?
Well, both of them play. It's not what it's about, but they both have major portions of it that deal with, hey, what would happen if half the world disappeared, and the world moved on for 5 years, and suddenly that half of the world comes back? Right. How do you deal with that? What do you do? Think of the humanitarian disaster that can actually be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And see, these are questions that the films never even address, right? Because everybody at the end, everybody's like, "Oh my God, Iron Man." That's about the only thing you're thinking of. But yeah, that's a whole world that went through that. You know what I mean? And so I love it because it's really bringing those to light, and those are some interesting stories on top of all that. What's going on there? So keep in mind, Winter Soldier and Falcon were gone. They were snapped out. You know what I mean? Right. So you're also seeing, what do they have to do when they come back? How do they deal with it? So anyway, really, really cool. I really liked both actors here, and again, I won't say anything else, just something. Definitely, I like where Marvel's going. I think I wasn't sure, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm kind of done with Marvel after those movies, but these series had definitely changed my mind. So anyway, that's what I've been watching. I did play, I want to talk about this one first. I did play the story mode for Injustice 2. And
yeah, you did.
I did, yeah. Wait, completely through.
You played what?
Injustice 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the fighting games I don't want to get into because everything is too projectile based, and not really into the whole projectile thing that much.
Oh, believe me, we're not.
I wasn't even there for the fighting portion. I know. Let me tell you exactly how not into the fighting I was. I was like, I'm here for the story. What do I do to fast pace this shit? Put that shit on fucking very easy. Nope, very easy. I was like, I'm just getting through this. You know what I mean? Because I just wanted to see the story. I remember playing Injustice, the first Injustice, and I really, really dug the story. And that one I played on regular.
That story was amazing.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to return those trophies back. You don't deserve them.
What trophies?
The trophies that you earned when you were beating this game.
Oh, please. I don't even think I got any trophies. So I don't think anything pinged the entire time I was playing. Maybe just the end to say, hey, you finished the story. That was it, I wasn't there for that. I only paid $5 for this game, guys. I just wanted to experience the story. And let me tell you, graphically, this game is beautiful. I was like, man, they really, really spent Warner Brothers money on this shit.
Facial animations that
ridiculous.
They're really good.
Ridiculous. Good. I was like, this is unbelievable. You can see almost like micro expressions on their face. I'm like, I don't know how they're doing this, but
especially on Supergirl, specifically, I'm remembering
her. Also, Harley Quinn is also she has a really anyway. So overall, the story was good. I still like the first story better. I like the first Aquaman better as well. Here, I don't know, different voice actor. I'm not sure what it was. He just seemed way more majestic and king-like in the first one, and just badass. Here, it didn't feel that way. And it kind of lost a little bit of that.
But it was DC, so he's probably in a different metaverse or
maybe.
Whatever.
This is not even the same. Exactly, this is not even the same one from last one because we've gone through so many different universes at this point. I do. So overall, I did enjoy it. Obviously, I uninstalled it because I really just went in for that. So I have no desire to play this shit again. I was playing. I kind of learned some of the moves. All right, just enough so I can get by. Overall, it was good. I had fun with it. If I had to give it a score, I'd probably just honestly, I'd probably give it a 3.0 just for the story. That's all I was playing there for. But I did like the first one.
Yeah, we can't rank the fighting or anything like that.
Correct.
That'll be dark talk and chaos and
that's outside my wheelhouse, as they say.
That's outside of our scope.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I did enjoy it. But I still stand by the first one being better. But I am interested where the story is going. It's clear this is not the end. So I'm interested in what they do next with their story. And I will eventually get that one when it's also $5. So anyway, I did pay for another game that was not $5. Unfortunately, it was nowhere near that. A game called Returnal.
Oh, and, yeah, that game was not $5.
Nowhere near $5. Yeah. This is a game by Housemarque, and if you don't know Housemarque is the creators of Resogun, Alienation, Nex Machina, some of my favorite arcadey style games, and they're kind of going outside of their comfort zone in this one, and I got to tell you, I am kind of hooked here. You know what I mean? So if you don't know what Returnal is, basically, first and foremost, it is a roguelike game. And it is a true roguelike game. What you play as Celine, and she crash lands on a planet. And the planet, the way the planet look, it is very Aliens or Prometheus. That real, really Scott looking. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of xenotech and all this stuff. There's like, man, it looks and feels like you're in an alien film. Mm-hmm. It is very fast paced. The visuals are ridiculous. Let me tell you these. the visuals. First off, this is a showcase probably for the PlayStation 5 for sure, but not just the visuals, the audio, the music, and the feedback. My friend, the controller. Let me tell you how this controller It uses all those wonderful features that you had gotten from Astro's Playroom, where it just used, like, you have the adaptive triggers. So you have this way of some guns you can actually pick up as like a secondary fire. So if you just pull the left trigger, if you just pull a little bit, the left trigger generally is to aim. Pulling it just a little bit, and it'll force stop you. Will do the aim, but if you want to, you push a little bit harder, and you get the actual secondary fire. And it's weird at first because you figure you kind of constantly pull the secondary fire, but no, man, that resistance on it is enough for you to just not do it. It picks up the little rain droplets, it picks up the explosions, it picks up getting hit. It's just like, man, this controller really is, really special in this game. It's not easy. I've only played an hour and a half roughly, and I've already died twice. This is very early on, but that's really I can say about it at this point. I haven't gotten into any of the weird mysteries of it, although I did see a house that I'm not even sure what's there. But other than that, I didn't really get into any of the mystery. The one main mystery, which is evident in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, is that she is stuck in a time loop. So when she dies, everything rewinds, and you're back at the ship, with the crash landed ship. Which obviously plays well for a roguelike, which is kind of what you end up doing anyway. But the way they do it here sort of makes sense, and you are sometimes running into your own dead body. You know what I mean? That's laid about in the in the map somewhere. It is procedurally generated, so the levels change and everything. But I got to tell you, one of my criticisms of procedurally generated levels was, well, you can never really be that detailed because you have to constantly mix things around. Well, this game proves me wrong, because these levels look gorgeous, and to go back through it and realize it's completely shifted to something else, but still looks like a well-crafted level, is a testament to these guys. Yeah, it is. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was going to say it just reminds me of when, because these are the same guys that did obviously Resogun and Ex Machina, Nex Machina. Sorry, yeah. And I like games that a lot of people like praise for their arcadiness and their fast pacedness and the cool visuals. And then they announced, we're going to start working on bigger, budget AAA level titles. And then everybody kind of like bemoaned, like, "Oh no, Housemarque, not you." You know, it was like, "Where are we gonna get our next cool like Resogun type of?" And to hear you describe it like that, like, okay, they made a roguelike, but the world still looks
Ridiculous,
very crafted. Because that's the problem with a lot of roguelikes. Like you could see the seams. You know, you can see where
they only have so much
things together.
Yeah, they only have so much memory to put in to make the level look new or something. Yeah, they really do. Now where Housemarque comes through, where you suddenly realize, oh shit, this is a Housemarque game, is in the gunplay. Like I said, the gunplay is fast paced. You have this wonderful you move fast in this level, and it's like I said, you have these. You're consistently being attacked by different creatures who also move quickly, who do their own stuff. Sometimes you're in areas and they're just bullet helling your way, and you're just having to dash around stuff. It is really, dude. It's really a lot of fun because of the challenge. I think the only concern I have is, I know roguelikes are meant for you to essentially go through the game in one run. That's the point of it, right? And so I have seen from the trailers other, what I think they call biodomes or something like that. Biomes or something like that, where it's areas. And in the hour and a half, so I played an hour and a half. I probably died at 15 minutes in because it was just kind of getting used to stuff. And then from there, I started from the beginning and played for another hour or so. And I'm still in the same area. And I didn't die. You know, I'm just kind of going through it. So it is weird because you can suspend it. And hopefully it doesn't, whatever. But you can, if you exit the game at all, there's no save point in between. It starts you back from the beginning and you just lose everything. So, it is.
I was going to ask you that. So when you die, do you feel like you make any progression, or do you lose everything and like, well, good luck?
You lose everything except for this consumable thing called ether, which allows you to purchase certain things. And those things that you purchase, some can be for the run. I think there are some power-ups that you get that are permanent, but there's a set limit of them. And one of them is being able to warp in these little bubbles or something like that. So you kind of get into a bubble and warp yourself to another area. So you need to get the item in order to do that. Once you get that, you always have it. You know what I mean? So, and same thing with, like, there's a way of extending bridges and stuff like that, and those type of things. There's a few other things I don't know because the slots are all blank, so I have no idea what's going to go there. But then there's these other things you collect along the way. Those things you collect along the way, like your weapons, they're gone when you go back. You start back at your pistol. There is a system that I'm not sure I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically where you almost get more powerful and more better weapons the longer you last without getting hit. And so that's actually a cool system, but it's so frustrating when you do get hit, because now it goes back down to 0. And the way it stacks is every 3 enemies gets you a new level, a maximum level 5 of whatever. I can't remember.
Like an adrenaline or something like
that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something like that. And so that's actually pretty cool. But like I said, the weapons and stuff, they're gone. And then, you can pick them up along the way again, but you may not find the same ones again. So I'm not sure about the later portions of it. I've only went up against 2 bosses, excuse me. One I died the first time, and then the second one I was able to get past. But they are spectacular to look at. You know what I mean? It's just such a weird game, but it's also a hard sell. And here's why it's a hard sell. Because one, it's a roguelike, and that's kind of already a niche genre. Secondly, it's $69.99 for the game. You know what I mean? This is a premium price title. And it's a premium price for a niche genre, and on top of that, I can explain to you all this stuff, but there's just no real way for you to know how you're going to feel about it until you do. Because even before, I was excited because I wasn't sure. But once I got ready to go, I just wasn't sure. I was like, I'm not sure how am I going to feel about this? You know what I mean? I don't like roguelikes, and here I am spending $70 on one. You know what I mean? Only because I like the developers. You know what I'm saying? Housemarque. Yeah, I like Housemarque.
Would you say that maybe that was this was the right time to release this game, because there was really nothing else first party coming from Sony? So
absolutely nothing. The next one is not until June. So this is like
good and flashy. So
it does. The particle effects are, guys. This game is a very gorgeous looking game, and again, but I can't say, hey, you guys should go out and get it. I think you should, but I don't know if I can say that. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm only an hour and a half in, and I don't know if I'm going to get tired of it at some point.
You mean like you as the audience, or you like me?
You as in you two, both of you. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's I think maybe Chaos will like it, because I think he I think maybe David, you like it as well.
This is the game that I was telling Chaos. I was telling, hey, Chaos, you probably
I think he'd be in it.
I've kept an eye on it. I'm thinking about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a hard sell. Not everybody's going to be into it. Everybody who's been playing it, reviews have been great, or really good at least. But the main thing that keeps coming up is like, this is not an easy game, and I know it's not. I can tell it's not. You know what I mean? At most of the time, I feel like I'm just on the edge and just moving on. You know, moving on is, you know, the next time I open this door is like, I don't know what's going to be behind there, and it just may knock me back. You know, I will say
you kind of have to be willing to die. You know, you kind of have to be willing to.
You have to be.
Death.
Yeah, if there's one thing about this game, you have to be kind of on the offensive almost all the time. Even when you're dashing, you dash towards the enemies, not away from them. You know what I mean? It's you really need to be constantly in front of them, and you know, just, oh dude, it's just, I'm really like thinking about it now. I was like, hey, you know what? I really just kind of want to jump back. You know, it's really cool. But again, I don't know. I can't 100% say you guys should jump in on it. But at the same time, I'm like, right now, you know, outside of Demon Souls, this is a premier title for PlayStation 5. So
wow,
yeah, for sure. So anyway, that, guys, is all we've been doing.
Wait.
Before
we leave,
there's more.
I guess so.
There is more, actually, but not much more, because we have extended this section enough already. I just wanted to say that I've also been playing Returnal.
Oh, wow.
Of course you have.
Wait, you're going to doubt me that I was not going to jump into it? I mean, I was frustrated already with Replicant. What you do when you waste $60? You fight fire with fire. So
you waste another $70?
and you try to see the best of it. And I got to say, I'm not a fan of roguelites. And I'm not sure if this is a game that I will keep playing, but I have really enjoyed what I played so far. I think that first dead it's kind of like a
setup.
What is it? Yeah, it feels scripted. It feels a little scripted. It's like, oh, you're meant to die here, you know,
just so you get the understanding how it works. That makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of like the tutorial or whatever. But that's why I was telling you last night, hey, record, because I didn't know if you knew that I was playing also at the same time. So I was like, hey, by the way, the PlayStation app sent me a message to say, hey, Magda has reached the Crimson something or whatever. I don't know, you know, like the area. It's like, oh, is that right? Well, too bad. I'm going to have to do a podcast here because I need to jump in. But no, man, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do want to jump back. As well. And it's exactly like, obviously I was just going to let you talk about it because I was not going to be eloquent on the way that I was going to describe it after describing freaking Replicant. Also known as Fractions.
I'm glad between the two, I'm glad you're at least 1 for 1 at this point.
No, yeah. This one is, I'm not sure if I'm getting my $70 worth yet, because I might decide that I hate it, but I've only died that one time. but I have very close encounters, And
did you suspend it because you're gonna reset if you didn't?
Well, yes, but I did it because I play cinematically. So I went to back to my ship and went to bed.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah. So yes,
awesome.
And that is all we've been playing.
All in one shot.
Why is that a problem though? Fuck that shit. Hell, I love it. It's not nerdy. I mean, I don't know exactly nerdy. Where the different where exactly the difference happens between geek and nerd. But we're definitely geek as fuck.
Okay, I can go with that. Yeah, I can get behind that statement.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's where I stand.
Awesome. I concur. We're back, guys, and it is time for the useless news
that you can use.
I'm going to go ahead and start with the free games for PlayStation Plus and for Xbox.
Actually, I just want to jump ahead and say that I'm here to be informed, like the rest of you guys that are listening to this. I have absolutely no... The only news I had was about the transmog in Destiny, and I already covered it.
You splurged that at the very beginning. You played your card too early.
Let me be here to learn and react. All right.
Okay. He is just a caboose in this train, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and start with the we'll start since I already have it. PlayStation Plus offers. PlayStation Plus subscribers will get access to 3 games in May: Electronic Arts Battlefield 5, Bugbears Entertainment's Wreckfest, and Beam Team Games Stranded Deep.
Okay.
I mean, do I care about any of these games?
Wait. I feel like I mentioned them again. Sure. I wasn't listening.
EA's Battlefield 5, Bugbear Entertainment's Wreckfest, and Beam Team Games Stranded Deep.
All right, I'm gonna tell you both that you both should care about Wreckfest if that is the racing game.
It is.
That is not what I was expecting.
That's actually a good get. And
Demolition Derby racing game is what it's
Yeah. That game is all right. Game's all right. That's a good game to get, especially if you're getting for free.
I'm gonna delete Outriders for that game. Got it.
Done.
Exactly. Yes.
You got it, sir. As a matter of fact, let me connect my PS5 right fucking now.
Then you have Battlefield 5, which I'm not gonna hear and say, that's the best game or anything like that. But if you're getting that game for free, that is also tag it at the very least. These are actually, what I'm trying to say is these are actually, I don't know about the third one, but these 2 at the very least makes this a very good month for PSN, in my opinion.
I can agree. I mean, I'm probably going to tag all 3 because I always do anyway. But I'm not a big racing guy, so Wreckfest will probably just kind of sit there. Maybe I'll try
something different though.
Yeah. Stranded Deep for PlayStation 4 puts players in the role of a plane crash survivor who must fend for themselves on the open seas, managing their thirst, hunger, and exposure to the environment to survive. There's also sharks, apparently. So,
there's also sharks.
Yeah.
And that information is completely pertinent.
Yeah. They mentioned it, so I figured I'd throw that in there. But
I guess it's important.
Yeah. So overall, Oddworld, Soulstorm, Days Gone, and Zombie Army 4 Dead War are available now until Monday the 3rd. And then, of course, on the 4th, we'll get these 3 games. And then, of course, on the Xbox side, we have, let's take a look here. Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will get 4 free games in May as part of Microsoft's Xbox Games with Gold program. Next month, we'll roll out on May 1st with Traveler's Tales, kid-friendly action brawler, Lego Batman, the video game for the 360, and League of Geeks, a grim fairy tale board game come to life, also for the 360. Armello for the Xbox One. All of May's games with gold are playable on the Series X, obviously. Last game they mentioned. Wait a minute. I feel like we missed a game here. Let me do this over here. So Armello, Lego Batman. Oh, Tropical 4.
Tropical 4.
Tropical 4. Okay. And Dungeons 3.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm glad that Xbox has Game Pass because obviously I'm not sure about the offerings this month. Except for Tropical. Tropical 4 is good if you're into that type of game and you know that type of like SimCity resource management type thing. And I heard good things about the other one. What's it called?
Lego Batman?
No,
Dungeons 3?
See, I don't. Yeah, Dungeons 3. You giving me a 360 game? Okay, yeah, I shouldn't. I should be thankful, right? Yeah, and Lego Batman is a good game, so that's fine.
Bro. What are you going on?
You should be.
I just don't know about these offerings.
Are you okay, sir? Are you okay?
I don't. Right. Yeah. I don't know about these offers either. I think this is no bueno, to say the least.
No, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm definitely happy that they have Game Pass because it seems like they're not offering anything with these games with gold.
Kind of sad when you have Battlefield 5 in the list and still say like, yeah, this is still not good.
Bro, that's Battlefield 5 with Battlefield 5 PlayStation. I feel like you're getting that game for free is very all right, especially if you can play it now.
All right.
Yeah, no, seriously. It's not a trash game. It's an EA game. I get it. But Battlefield 5 in no way is a trash game. Yes, a lot of people give it shit because it has women soldiers. That is so not historic so and all that bullshit. Because you know, exactly. That's the hate that it got. Believe it or not, that's the entirety. You know, aside from the fact that it's an EA game and a DICE game and a Battlefield game, that is the hate that it got. Other than that, I played that game and I had a good time with it. You know, and if you're getting it for free, the fuck, man, that's amazing.
I'll tag it. Maybe I'll look into it, even if it's just for the single player campaign.
Yeah, at the very least, you get a solid single player.
You really say no to free? I mean, yes, you can because Life of Black Tiger, even if free, you should say no.
Yeah, I don't tag everything. Unlike Mad Dog, I don't tag all the games, and not necessarily because I think they're shit. I just think like, okay, this is probably a good game, but I'm just never gonna play it. It's just gonna occupy a spot, and I don't.
I don't download them. I just tag them. But go ahead.
Just tag. Yeah.
What's the next?
Tagging and bagging. All right, so.
Oh guys, my God! I'm sorry, but did you guys know there's gonna be a remaster of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne?
Oh yes, yes actually.
Holy shit! I remember.
Did you play that game?
Somebody lent it to me. I remember Eduardo. Shout out, bro. He lent it to me, and I didn't finish it. Because holy shit, ball, this game is difficult. Mainly because he has like the cheapest excuse of giving you a game over. If your main character dies in your party, that's it. Game over. Holy hell. And that makes it so fucking hard. God. And Dante was in this game. It's a bonus character.
Yes,
which is the Devil May Cry 2 version, which is sadly the worst absolute version.
Yes, it is
of the character, but we should never speak of. But it's in this game, unfortunately. So,
but yeah, no, that game I did hear they were remaking it, and I don't know if they're making any quality of life improvements to it, but
I mean,
I was just interested. Yeah, I guess I was just interested. In first glance because it's Shin Megami Tensei, but then I realized, oh wait, but the only games that I have liked in this series is the Persona games. So
Really? You
I'm
didn't
probably
like the
not gonna
Digital
go
Devil
into.
Saga?
I did not play them. My first
There's only
introduction
two
to those
games,
to the.
but it's really. I mean, I thought it was really good, and it was like that game was absolutely brutal. But we're not here to
Well,
talk about that, so
you should go into Persona 3, sir. Especially if you don't mind, the graphics by now. I mean, they're PlayStation 2 graphics, but if you don't mind it that much, I think you'll have a good time with Persona 3
not
specifically.
if I know what I'm getting myself into.
Anyway, bringing it to the present, I
Yes,
have
please,
good
sir,
news,
thank you.
guys. The Google Stadia has been fixed.
Oh no.
Now,
I don't believe
yes.
you.
Oh, guys, listen. They finally fixed the quintessential problem with Google Stadia, and that is that originally Google, the search engine company, did not know how to implement a search feature on Google Stadia. That's
What?
right. You couldn't.
What?
The Google Stadia did not made by the people that make the search engine Google
No.
did not have a search feature on Stadia.
No.
It
No.
did not have one. You
I don't
couldn't
believe
find
you.
that was a fact. That was a
True,
fact.
yeah.
Well,
Lacking.
on Wednesday, they finally announced that they will add a search bar function on its web store. So its web store is finally going to have a search bar. Yes, Google,
Unbelievable.
the company that literally began as a search engine.
Stadia
Finally-
is saved.
Yes, it is. It is finally. Search bars on Stadia for web is rolling out now and will reach all players this week. Stadia wrote in an announcement. It had to make an announcement about this feature, mind you. It will make finding your favorite games much easier, said Google. Prior to this update, users found games by browsing through the store categories like new releases, on sale, or scrolling down the store page to the categories like action games and shooters. And I guess in 2021, Google finally realized that it probably should act the search feature, which they finally seem to have done. The announcement also included other updates, like an activity feed to share your gameplay and see what other 7 Stadia users are playing. Wow, Kotaku, that was actually very accurate. The ability to bulk delete screenshots and video is also on the way. Yeah, I can't. It's at this point. Google, Stadia. I don't give it past 2021, bro. I think this is the last year for it before they pull the plug.
Really?
I'm shocked it took this long, to be honest with you.
Who is playing Google Stadia? Please, I'll be very interested to know it. Comment below.
I asked that in the group, and no one responded.
No one responded.
I should probably make a poll,
question, bro, because I didn't even see it.
Yeah. Rephrase the question. Put it as, who hasn't had not played Google Stadia at this point?
Oh my god, that is insane. Yeah, I would say, you know what? I'm gonna be kind and say I'm gonna let it give it to the end of their fiscal year, which normally fiscal years will be March.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say March of 2022. We're gonna know by then that Stadia has been discontinued and they're not doing anything with it. So.
By that point, yeah, because they're not getting any new, they're not getting any exclusive or first party exclusive games. They pulled out those studios. They disassembled them already.
Yeah.
And third parties are like treating this as we'll have the Stadia version, but who is buying games through Stadia? I mean, why would you spend $60 on a game and on top of that have to pay a monthly subscription if you want your games to look almost as equal as on the console will look? Mm-hmm. Almost. I say almost because latency issues and all that aside, and if you get the free version, the free tier, you're limited to 1080p still.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah. No
Why,
bueno.
Google? Why?
Wow.
You were the chosen one.
How? How do you? Oh my God.
I honestly believe if anybody could pull this up, is Google. Why?
And even
Because
them.
they have the data centers,
And even
but
them.
obviously they don't know
Nope.
how to use them.
Nope.
They don't
Even
know
they
how to
can't do it.
manage it. You know, that's what it is. You put a go getter there like a fucking Phil Spencer or something like that you could see that bull rolling. But if you give it to frigging Phil Harrison, Phil Harrison was when he was in Xbox. It's bad. It was bad, and now he's in Google. And I mean,
Just everywhere he goes, I agree.
yeah,
He's not a very good manager.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, it proves, right? I mean, he's constantly. You figured they would learn, but I guess he has to make his round. So my next piece, guys. Actually, my next and last, because again, not a lot going on, but it is interesting. I think that Chaos is actually swimming in this right now. Massive PlayStation Network Golden Week sale brings
this is
deals.
ridiculous.
Yeah, yes, it brings deals to many of the classic games. One specific, there's a few here that I wanted to highlight. First off, Persona Royale, $30 right now. Persona 5 Royale or Royal. $30.
Royal.
Yeah.
We always mess that.
I always say
always miss
Royale.
that.
God, I don't know why I keep doing
Mad
that.
Dog, bro, don't worry about it. I see it as Royale all
Yeah.
the time.
Royale with cheese. That's what I
and
keep seeing. Yeah.
It's funny because like my brain knows like it's Royal. You know it's Royal, but nah, bro, it's Royale. You can
I've
see
been,
it's
yeah.
Royale,
I don't
it's
know
Royale.
why. I always
It's
stick to
not.
that. One that I want to mention here is Nier Automata, the regular game, $4.99.
What?
Just say
$4?
Yeah.
Chaos, jump on that shit right now. I mean, you have that. At the very least, you
No,
can
for
bank
real,
that. If
let
not,
me-
let me get it for you. Jesus Christ, $4 for that game. That's a steal.
Well, $5.
Wait.
$4.99.
Which one did you say?
Automata.
Did you say Automata or Replicant?
No,
Automata.
Oh, okay. Then you're safe. Okay, good. Yes, $5 for that game. Definitely worth it.
Okay, I am looking at this right now. It says Nier Automata Game of the Yorha.
Nope, not the Yorha. That one's
Not the
more.
Yorha.
That one's
Yeah.
$20. Yeah.
Yes. And
You don't need that one.
there's something that says Nier Automata 3C3C1D1194.
No, that's the DLC. That's the
Okay.
DLC. You just have to look for Nier Automata.
No, bro, this is all I'm getting on the search.
Okay, well.
No.
The other one
you
is
haven't
Nier
discovered the secret
Replicant.
tier.
Yeah.
Then the other one is something about Gravity Rush 2 Nier Automata Costume Pack.
No,
Then I
we're
have
not
the
doing that.
Nier Replicant version 1.2247.
We're not doing that.
We're
I'm going
definitely
into my
not doing
next
that one.
piece.
So anyway, it is an awesome sale. You guys definitely check it out. There's over 209 games on that list, and some really good ones. So
Cool. I thought I'd bring this next piece of news because I thought it was neat, even though I'm not a huge fan of their store just yet. Microsoft is reducing its cut of PC games game sales to match Epic's game store. Microsoft and Epic are putting they're putting the squeeze on Steam. Microsoft is changing its revenue split on the Microsoft Store to give developers a greater share of sales for Windows PC games. The company announced on Thursday. Starting August 1st, developers will receive 88% of the revenue for any game sold on Microsoft PC storefront, up from the current 70%. The increase in revenue share is beneficial for developers, but it also plays by Microsoft to entice game makers to its store. An 88% revenue share is what Epic Game Store offers developers, and is part of the reason why we see so many exclusive on the Epic Game Store on PC.
Mm-hmm.
With Microsoft matching the Epic Game Store, this move puts the pressure on Valve Steam, a platform on which Microsoft also publishes PC games. Valve revenue share is now significantly behind the times compared to Microsoft and Epic. Microsoft referred to its new policy as a, quote, no strings attached revenue share, end quote, which is a good news for developers, but also a shot of Valve's revenue share plan. It's funny, however, that even Microsoft sell more games in Steam than in its own store. Their own games, like their own first-party games.
Mm-hmm.
They sell a lot more on Steam than what they sell on their own game store.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it just speaks volume of how bad that store is. It's a freaking nightmare. I mean, it makes the Google Stadia store, be like ahead of its time,
Oh,
so,
Jesus Christ.
The Google Stadia store.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The only thing I guess I can squeeze this one in here. This is just notification. State of play. PlayStation had a state of play, and it was all about Ratchet and Clank. Showed off 15 minutes of gameplay, which looks pretty amazing.
Yes, it does.
But didn't really want to check it all out because I kind of want to just play the game. But the game comes out on June 11th. I'm going to just share a video here of that gameplay into the group. So if anybody wants to check that out. All right. Well, so we'll be right back, guys, with our hot topic.
Call Google and tell them you're having trouble finding games on PSN. They could probably fix that for you.
The search function, yeah.
All right, boys. GG's, motherfuckers! Shout out to my boys Dream, Chaos, and Mac. What's going on, my niggas? Happy to be back, feeling good, back up to full health. Everything is fucking tasty and gorgeous all over again. God damn. Okay, so the review for Mortal Kombat, the movie. Now, this movie, right out the gate, this movie ass. This movie ain't no bees, yo. I'm gonna tell you why. This movie is classified under the guilty pleasure category for damn sure. Okay? Let's start right from the beginning. We got Scorpion sub, fucking beast. And this movie grabbed me and Chaos especially because we're like super freak fans of Sub-Zero. So it grabbed us by the nuts right from the opening credits of this goddamn movie. It's like, oh yeah. Woo! We're gonna grab you motherfuckers. Woo! We're gonna grab you niggas. And they literally put an entire diarrhea fest over our fucking eyes and they said, fuck it, you're ours now, bitch. The opening credits of this movie are fucking amazing. The first 10 minutes where you're introduced to these characters, sexy as hell, fucking beast. And then they introduce this motherfucker Cole. Who the fuck is this? This nigga is absolutely the worst thing in the goddamn movie. The only other thing that's worse is Cole is the fucking Arcana. Why in the motherfuck would you introduce this garbage ass element to the movie? You don't need to explain where the fucking powers come from, bro. You don't need to do that shit. Okay? That shit garbage. What the fuck is you doing, son? You said it was for the fans. And if you would know, the fans, us, bitch, means that we know what the fuck their powers come from. You don't need to tell us. Okay? You don't have to fucking put that garbage. That shit single-handedly fucked up most of this movie. Let's start from there. Alright? Let's go right through there. All the Sub-Zero scenes, like, they were just jerking my shit the whole way through. I'm talking multiple cum shots, baby. All over the goddamn place. Multiple cum shots. The scene where he kills Jax, fucking dope as shit. That fucking scene was sick. Okay? Where he blows up his fucking arms. Amazing. That shit was sick as hell. Then we go right back to Cole. It's like, nah, nigga. Again with this motherfucker. We don't like this nigga, man. Alright? I see what you're trying to do. But, man, that nigga, oh. Now, shout out to my boy, Kano. That nigga is up there with Sub-Zero, okay? That motherfucker is the shit. That nigga made me laugh throughout most of this movie. That nigga stole basically every scene he was fucking in, bro. Fucking amazing, dude. I mean, every scene. The Kung Pao scene at the table, the laser beam scene, at the table once again when he got pissed off. The fuck scene when Liu Kang touches him in the shoulder, like the fuck, all that shit, bro. Even when all that shit was amazing. All of it was fucking every scene from the moment he's introduced with those chains on. That shit was dope as hell. Reptile, garbage, absolute trash. Nigga just like a fucking gecko. That CGI was dog shit. Nigga, dog shit. Alright? Complete trash. Kung Lao, fucking beast, and Liu Kang. Cabal was also done justice here. He looks fucking amazing. I love his swords. Loved all that shit. Especially Liu Kang. They're like, what the? That shit was sick. That shit was fucking sick as hell. The whole fire dragon was dope, but man, listen to me. I love the fire dragon, but I gotta say the Kung Lao one takes the cake with the whole buzzsaw thing and surfing on the bitch. That shit was nasty. That shit was fucking nasty. The other one that was really good was the Jax one, but that fight was garbage. And now we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of this shit. Okay? The beginning of the movie, amazing. And now we get to the end of the movie, it's fucking godlike. Okay? You got Scorpion and Sub going at it again, bro. That shit, again, multiple cum shots. Multiple cum shots. Because it's fucking sick. The choreography is amazing. All of it is done so good. The power is, oh my god. It's so fucking good. The whole goddamn character was done so much justice. And that's why me and Chaos find it so hard to give this movie a score. I mean, I'm gonna give it the score. I'm gonna tell you the score in a second here. But let me tell you that they aimed for us. They really did. They knew we were gonna love this movie. They knew that they slapped us with so many cock biases that it's unfucking real, bro. I'm talking about a whole dick farm dedicated to us just because they put Sub in there. They made that nigga the boogeyman. Like, bro, if you're a Sub-Zero fan, this movie's an automatic 10 out of 10. Okay? And that can't be further from the truth. I'm gonna be honest here. Okay? Okay? Because we fucking honest in this motherfucker. Alright? That's how we fucking do it. This movie. I'm sorry, man. This movie's a 5 out of 10. And that's being hella generous. That's with all the Sub-Zero shit. It's a solid 5 out of 10. Because let me tell you that there are scenes in the first Mortal Kombat, I mean the first, I think it was 1995 or 1996 movie. That movie has so many cheesy scenes, but they're so good. I mean, when we're talking about guilty pleasure movies, that movie has it all. And I know Chaos was talking, when he's, I'm talking to Chaos, I know he knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Reptile versus Liu Kang fight. That shit was beast. When Sub-Zero fucking threw an ice ball, that nigga fell to the ground and shattered, amazing. We're talking about Johnny Cage going, it's for $500 sunglasses, asshole. Bam, nigga, in the fucking nuts. That whole scene right there, those whole 10 seconds that nigga's holding his nutsack, fucking amazing. Then he just fucking grabs onto a ledge and falls out, and falls down the fucking pit of hell. Whatever the fuck that goddamn maelstrom was, amazing. But that's all cheese right there. I'm talking hella cheese. But I like that cheese, nigga. That cheese good. Then you got this movie. And this movie is going for that very edgy, serious fucking tone, right? Unfortunately, this movie has a problem where the middle fights are, okay. Alright, nigga. It's okay. And then you got this godlike fight in the beginning. Fucking beast ass fucking Scorpion going ham. Then you got the end fight doing the same thing. And then you just peppered a shit ton of little baby fights with a couple of fatalities. I was like, bro, you cannot make a movie with the beginning 10 minutes and the final 10 minutes. That's not a movie, nigga. That is a trash movie. Unfortunately, that's what this is. This falls in the guilty pleasure category for Sub-Zero fans. Maybe Mortal Kombat fans are like, I don't know. Because killing Kano with a fucking pot, spoilers by the way. Killing Kano with a fucking pot gnome? Come on, dog. Like, seriously, you didn't give Zonya a fatality, except with the onion rings when she kills Melina. That's dumb as hell. But honestly, this movie as a whole, 5 out of 10. That's my rating. And unfortunately, that's my bad review of Mortal Kombat. I was hoping that this movie would have more raid type action sequences. Maybe I asked too much. Arcana, extreme deficit to this movie, especially with the whole birthmark thing. You gotta kill and that's all fucked up. But hopefully we can talk about it at another time, or a year from now when I get to Florida. Well, whatever the case is, that's my review for the Mortal Kombat movie. I hope you guys enjoy that. And thank you so much for having me over on the podcast. It was a privilege. Thank you to Chaos, Mad Dog, and Dream. And always stay frosty, my niggas. Be safe. Much love. Peace, peace.
And speaking of which, we're back, guys, with our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic.
Hot topic again, guys. We're going to spoil the living shit out of Mortal Kombat movie, which is available on HBO Max. So if you have that service, do yourself a favor and skip this movie. No. Although, if you did, you're probably not missing much. So,
honestly, no, not really.
But so we're going to talk pretty highly, well, not pretty highly, but a lot about this film. I wanted to kind of, this is something I found, and I found hilarious when I found it, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. So IMDb has like a little tiny synopsis, little blurb that it has on it. Always non-spoilery, just kind of a general overall thing. So here's what IMDb has for Mortal Kombat. MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champion in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe.
Damn, man, did they screw that up? Or did they fuck
really
that up?
Nice.
That's the thing I thought.
Really not plot at all.
Sounds really nice, but that sucked.
I was laughing hysterically on it. First off, I kind of already know what I already know the reason behind this, but I was laughing hysterically when I found it because it was just like, oh my god, these morons. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, IMDb's little blurb, they're normally right, because it's usually just the overall gist. Yeah, it's usually just the overall gist of what's going on.
It sounds like a Facebook meme of ruin the name of this movie by changing one letter or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. Give us the plot of this film, but be incorrect. How do you
be incorrect?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're just gonna go circling around the room with your general thoughts on the film overall, and then we can really go into some deep dive nonsense. I am going to start with Mr. Mortal Kombat himself, Mr. Hilberto.
All right, I'll be glad to go in. Okay,
I like the name. I dig it. Honestly,
you should have lived in for. If anything, he would have had the best opinion about the movie. But go ahead.
I mean, this is just like the introduction to it. The best parts of this movie is the beginning, the beginning and the end. The first fight and the last fight. That's everything else in between is subpar. And that's being generous about it. That is the short of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, Mr. Santos. Your general thoughts on it.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say that, first of all, I was absolutely enthralled with Christopher Lambert's version of Raiden. I think he was amazing. I think he did a fantastic job.
I think you watched the wrong movie, sir.
First off, you're wrong on both accounts. That's not the movie we're talking about. And Christopher Lambert did not do that.
What are we talking about then? Oh, wait a minute. We're not talking about 1995's Mortal Kombat?
No.
Oh shit. Okay, then all right. Let me change my tone then.
Okay.
Yeah, this new movie was not great. First off, it starts promising enough. Chaos said the beginning part is like interesting because, it's you could tell like okay, every movie, every type of this, whenever we got a movie like this, that just starts with a very happy beginning, like very rosy and very, like, you could tell, okay, chaos is gonna ensue at some point. Something really bad is gonna happen, and
motherfuckers are dead. And
I'm probably not gonna want to see there's gonna be some like murdering here, like real quick, and I was actually surprised because what they gave us instead, it was a pretty cool fight, you know, and it kind of sets the tone from that point. But then it just takes me into this character, Cole Young.
Oh god.
That is like, first of all, I don't remember ever playing as him on anything.
No character exclusive for the movie.
Oh, okay. So this is the exclusive character of HBO. Gotcha. Okay, I got the bad version of this game then. No, I just MMA fighter that get his ass kicked. And continues getting his ass kicked throughout the whole movie to the point where he just becomes an inconsequential character because we have to have freaking Scorpion, you know, his great granddad to save his ass at the end. Otherwise, he would have been like fucking frozen like a popsicle. From the most OP character in Outland, like the most evilly OP, crazy, like.
Let's take it easy.
This character is literally like a god. He could actually take him Raiden down.
Respect the self.
Sub-Zero, Bihan's version of Sub-Zero. It's like, okay, so this movie is about how badass Sub-Zero is.
And you got a problem with that, bro? You got a problem with
that,
bro?
Yeah. It really...
I don't have a problem. When you bring it to extremes like that, when you bring it to extremes like that, it ceases to be amazing because it's like, okay, so he is fucking unstoppable. You know, basically, it takes all the warriors basically to bring this guy down. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, that's what we're saying here.
Not even Scorpion, not even freaking hellfire Scorpion. You know, just fresh out of hell can take him down. He needs the help of his great grandson.
To the character, sir.
I think he was significantly, over. Yeah, I would say. I guess I can say overpowered because technically we're not really controlling him, but you know, at the same time, it's like, it was.
Okay,
it was.
To be fair, and I do want to put this out there. I am a massive Sub-Zero fan. That is my absolute favorite character.
Oh, I hear you. Hey, I think he's a cool character. Sir. I think he's a cool character. There's nothing there, but I even if it was my favorite character, let's say, I wouldn't appreciate a bad representation of him. And the representation of him,
representation though.
I mean, I think he was, okay, you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was not a bad representation of him. It was a bad representation of every other character in this movie.
Yes.
There you go. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah. Either way you look at it.
Never Sub-Zero. Yeah. Maybe the problem was everybody else.
Why? Because I mean, honestly, there's a very specific reason why. And this movie. Okay, like I said, is this where we jump into the absolute spoiler cast?
Let me just give my overall thoughts. So overall, I think this movie. So first off, I was not like everyone else when the trailer came out earlier this year.
No, you were not. You were
excited, and I was like, I was like, guys, I'm sorry. I see what you guys are excited about, but I don't know anybody here. And I don't know this director. I don't know this writer. I don't know this entire team. And oh, by the way, where did this movie come from? It's just out of the blue. Just okay, here it is. So no, I was not.
You were too scientific for us.
I was there. I was not taken back by the trailer at all.
Right. He did it right.
And so when I got to see the movie, I came in with basically said this is going to be probably a very mediocre film. And what did I get? A very mediocre film. So I had no. So I came out of it The first time going, well, this was actually, it had fun moments. You know what I mean? It was enjoyable. I wasn't completely bored. A lot of the setup and everything was kind of silly. A lot of the characters were silly, but then again, if sometimes you just kind of lean into, the campiness of it, so that can work as well. I do agree Sub-Zero's character was a standout. At some point I started questioning, why does he even have to listen to Shang Tsung? It doesn't feel like he needs to. You know what I mean? So he should be the one ruling out World, But yeah, overall those are my thing. Now, real quick, back to just kind of point back to the IMDb thing. What's clear is that there was another fuller film here that was significantly cut out. And the reason I say that is because of the IMDb blurb where it says, this is what we had intended to do. However, there was, if you look it up, there's plenty of articles out there that there was a troubled production. There's a lot of things weren't working the way they should be. I don't want to say this was, Super Mario Brothers type of troubled thing, but it definitely had its issues. So it's clear that this movie probably was to be something more than what we got in the end here. And in the end, I feel like we got was literally a setup film for the next one that we know we're going to get. So, yes. And so because of that, I ended up watching some pieces of it again. So I was leaning on the, being good, but I don't know. So let's just get into some deep spoilers here, on some of the events that occurred. Apparently, Chaos has a lot of things to say. So, sir, by all means.
And he always says it like he sees it.
He does.
Okay. Like I said, the beginning and the end are the best parts of this movie. That being said, which we'll get into detail later, I do want to talk about what I consider to be the absolute worst part of this movie, and I want to address it now because it is significant. It is the inclusion and the invention of this Arcana bullshit.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid.
Yeah. Listen, Mortal Kombat uses both technology and magic to explain the powers of its character. We're talking about a franchise that is so bare in its creativity that by Mortal Kombat 3 they had a character named Stryker, which if anybody knows anything about Stryker, he's just a cop that his special is to shoot you in your goddamn face and then beat the shit out of you with your baton.
That would not go very well in this day and age.
Probably not. But this is Stryker, and that was his moveset, okay?
Let's say that fights between him and Jax will probably not be allowed. Probably. God. I'll just say, I might be talking out of my ass.
Well said, sir.
I'm gonna shut up.
Okay, if you want to get deeper into this well of uncreativity, they have a character named Mocap who's literally wearing a mocap suit. Bro. Okay, so I'm not above them not being that super creative. I also appreciate streamlining some of the story of the game because Mortal Kombat story is absolutely and ridiculously convoluted.
Yeah, because it spans so many games that they
because there was no plans of it lasting this long. Okay, we're talking about a series that has specters and zombies. Yes, there are zombies and there's gods and there's elder gods, and then there's something called the Dragon King, and it gets even more ridiculous the more you go on, to the point that they have to reboot it already like twice. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, the Arcana system, or the system, you hear me? The Arcana inclusion of the Arcana, whatever it was. It didn't make sense. Like, if you really sat and thought about it, it's like, okay, so what triggers it? Because everyone seems to be triggered a little bit differently. And, let's talk about Sonya. How did she she literally just got her mark. Oh, by the way, here goes your Arcana too.
How to use it. Like
Get the
Kano,
shit out of whoever has it, and suddenly it's yours.
Yeah, I
Kano
guess so.
struggling to find his arcana is it's not a mystery because he's a bit of a buffoon and he's the first one to get it, yet Cold, who's supposed to be this trained fighter, is struggling to find it, and then Sonya gets it in mere seconds.
Yeah. Like I said, I think we talked about this on. It's like I think she got it, but she couldn't access it until she got the mark.
She was basically
She needed the mark first. Yeah, I do like Sonya's. It's thin, I will admit, but I do like the fact that she had a little chip on her shoulder because she wants to be part of this. She seems to be following. If you look at her all her stuff in her trailer, it's like she really kind of wanted to be in this, and they just kept pushing her away. No, you don't have a mark. You're just gonna be a liability. Yeah, this guy, no, Kano. I love, dude. Kano was also pretty humorous. I don't know if anybody else found him pretty funny.
I'm gonna disagree. I found him obnoxious, and
I know,
like in no way a reason to not have Johnny Cage on this one and try to save him for.
I found it reason enough to.
He had the scene where he mentions where I guess they tell Sonya to you can't be here for whatever. He just comes out of the door and goes, "Fucking oops." And I was like, "Whoa." This is it had me chuckling for the most part. But yeah, the other thing was the arcanas were like you couldn't tell the power of each one of them, right? You have the eye laser that seems kind of powerful.
For some reason, it's the arcana chose to give Kano an eye laser for some unknown reason. Sure, okay.
It was the power behind it, right? So you have the eye laser, you have whatever Sonya had, you know what I mean? She had that blast that basically disintegrated a hole in this. But, Liu Kang shot a fireball. Liu Kang shot a fireball at freaking Kano and it just knocked him down. So I was like, well, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here?
Because he's not really like amplifying, well, with the exception of Jax, I guess, but he's not really amplifying anybody's like inert something that they had, it was just, we're going to give this character a laser eye for whatever reason, and we're going to get this character's power bracelets. Sure. And fiery, it's like so pointless.
Yeah.
And then, so that means that they all need that, but like, is it ever discussed or addressed how Sub-Zero has his powers?
Okay, I was gonna say the problem with this whole kind of thing is if you know the backgrounds of the characters, it gets much worse because even Shang Tsung originates from Earthrealm.
Okay,
I didn't know that he was from Earthrealm.
Yes,
I thought that he was from.
Sounds familiar, but yeah.
Yeah, and so does Sub-Zero. So, like, do they have their own marks? Did they get them from someone? Were they born with what is? Like
what is the logic? What is the is it midichlorians
kind of thing? Yes, that's pretty much it. This whole kind of thing is so dumb. Again, they use technology in the games. The arms that Jax has, are given to him by the special forces.
Yeah. Instead, what is it? They had to call to other
basically transformed
realms. Well, no, when he first has his little Tyrannosaurus Rex hands,
Yeah,
which were hilarious.
Sonya uses like actual bracelets to shoot those beams. They're not just magical beams. And I mean, I understand that they're establishing their own universe, which you could say it's separate. It's obviously separate from the games. But I mean, fucking hell, when you're coming up with something as dumb as this whole kind of thing, you're better off sticking with the source material.
Yeah, just don't explain anything. Just have him like, well, these are superpower beings. We don't need to know. We don't need to know the midichlorians of it.
No, exactly the same thing. Like, listen, no, the special forces gave him the arms. That's it. You don't have to. Give him
exactly. The first movie seemed to have handled that. The 1995 and the subsequent movies on that older franchise on the original trilogy, if you want to call them that. He knew how to handle that, better. Like it didn't need made up new characters that amounted to nothing. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but that character, that fighter that was like a what do you call that? She is.
You talking about Shiva? Not Shiva. Fucking Melina.
Not Melina, but the other one that was like a succubus almost. That had the wings and she could fly.
Oh, Nitara.
Yeah, is that a character from Mortal Kombat?
Nitara, I believe, is a character if I recall correctly. Yeah. The Raiko is, huh?
What is she called?
Nitara.
Okay. So Nitara,
do you recall Nitara?
yes,
Chaos.
Yes. Nitara is from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the Middle Ages. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the Dark Ages. He probably.
She is a vampire. So yes, I know her. Reiko is a general of Shao Kahn, and his first appearance is Mortal Kombat 4, and that poor bastard of a character has never met a good fate in any medium.
Yeah, he was a waste here.
Movies or comics.
Yeah, he was a waste here.
Which character is that?
Reiko, the one that Jax fights in the end.
Yeah.
That he smashes his head. And by the way, was that not just a complete waste of showing us the pit, but they don't use the pit?
I know.
Oh, I love the fact that they felt like they needed to revisit the stages of the game. Like,
absolute sense at all that they're like popping up in these random places.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, well, this is in the game, and also for like, I feel like the movie, like I understand you have a movie you kind of want to give like a wink moment to its fan base, but when you have a character going, when you get I forget who was. Oh, when you have fucking Kano going like Kano wins, it's like, oh, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, really? Sometimes you don't need to. Those are the unnecessary. Like I like the subtle ones. A subtle one would be like, for instance, that sweeping. Where it's like, the sweeping is like that had me. I don't know about you guys, but again, I was kind of chuckling. I was like, oh, I see where they're going with this. You know what I mean? I was like,
but again, we like Kano too. So when he jumps and when Liu Kang fakes it and he jumps, like he does the exact same jump of the game.
Yeah. He looks as silly as they do in the game.
And he goes like, oh fuck, and then gets hit by the sweep again.
And he says the same thing we all said at any point when we played anybody at that point. I was like, is that the only move you know? It was just great, dude. Those little things. I don't know. Like I said, it made me laugh, and so I enjoyed Kano, and I know he was an idiot. I knew he was gonna get his. And you
could expect Scorpion is obviously gonna say "get over here" because it's his Scorpion. That's expected.
Yeah.
But then you have Kung Lao going flawless victory.
I mean, okay, but he didn't get touched that fight, so I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but it was stupid. Unnecessary.
It was a necessary save.
I mean,
he doesn't have to go like that.
I'll tell you how he didn't have to go. He didn't have to go kind of like I'm going to say it, kind of like a bitch when he went to Shang Tsung. I was like, so Shang Tsung just basically takes you and takes your soul. There's no fight involved in this. Huh? This is just what happens.
Honestly, I blame Cole for that. Because
you blame Cole for that?
Of course, because Liu Kang was trying to run back to help his friend, and Cole the whole time was just looking at him? Like, wasn't he just standing in front of him the whole fucking time? Couldn't you do something, Cole? Cole, be useful for once, man. You useless fuck.
In no part of this movie was Cole ever felt like a useful character, and he was supposed to be the protagonist.
No, he was. Goro, he was a waste. He was an absolute waste. It was all about, hey, it's about, my family.
I mean, a waste will be something that could have been useful. Like, this character didn't need to exist. Like, we didn't need to have this character at all. Like, if you're gonna bring the whole thing with the rivalry between
I mean, you could have made this movie about
Scorpion and Sub-Zero,
and you would have been better off.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave it at that. A reincarnation, like, who cares? Like, don't try to bring like freaking some random MMA character that gets an Aquaman suit at some point for some unknown reason, and suddenly like we're supposed to cheer for him.
I just realized.
And then he gets his ass kicked again over and over. It's like,
Yeah.
Cool,
Goro was fucking knocking him around. It wasn't for that ridiculous. And explain to me how we don't see those powers again from that Aquaman suit, I guess we call it. We don't see that power again in any of the other battles. So it's like it was just used for Goro. Yeah, it's like, is that was it?
The little girl had to tell him to use the uppercut. Like, how bad of a fighter you have to be where you can't think of, I should uppercut this guy that has me in this particular lockdown position or whatever.
Yeah, I should use my uppercut.
No, yeah. She even said, she was like, "Oh, don't tap out, something like, do you see what position he's in right now? He wants to tap out. He wants to keep his arm. Just saying, This is what you get for. This is probably why he's constantly losing his fights, because he's listening to his daughter. That's his coach. I was like, who made her the coach? No wonder you're always getting your ass whooped. It makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense whatsoever. So going back to the the get over here. Something funny about Scorpion is, he doesn't speak Chinese. He only speaks Japanese, but he speaks clear English when he says his line. With his line.
Over here,
man. Hey, man. Listen, I understand that was super forced just to make a callback to the game, but I didn't give a fuck. I loved it.
That's what I'm saying. At some point, I was like, so obviously we're going with camp here, and when you kind of go with camp, you can kind of forgive a lot of these things, but I don't know. In the end, I just.
In the end, they were trying to make it too grounded, quote unquote, in reality, because they were giving an explanation to the powers when none was fucking needed. Like, we know this game is outlandish, bro. You got ninjas that free shit in instantly, when that is like completely impossible. Like, all kinds of rules, bro. Just. You don't have to give such an explanation,
for yourself,
bro. You can just make it happen. And we know what we got ourselves into, okay?
You don't know what my arcana is.
We know what we got ourselves into. We know what to expect. You don't have to ground it in reality with the dumbest explanation.
I don't think Arcana would be grounding it in reality.
I know, but they kind of tried, right? Like, to give it.
No, on the contrary, I feel like they were making something up and like got halfway and goes, well, we'll figure it out from here. You know what I mean? It's like, we'll fill in blanks as we go. It's like, no, if you're going to create something like that, that's what I was going to say. You either don't create it, like you guys said, just, hey, we know these people have these abilities.
Yes.
Or you do create it and you do it completely and you make sure the entire system makes sense. You know what I mean? I get that will probably take more time than anybody would want to do on a Mortal Kombat film, but at the same time, if again, one or the other, right? Anything in the middle, you're left with what we had essentially.
I mean, you're telling me you couldn't interject that with like fighting of some sort, like,
dude? And that's the other thing with the fights. The fights, again, the very first scene, kind of set up the scene.
Yes.
But is it just me or
and an expectation? And then it's just a steep hill down. There's just
the issue I had is that I feel like there was no real gore until suddenly you got gore, right? And I was just like, It was like this felt very PG-13, and then suddenly you got Natara's death. You know what I mean?
We need to have fatalities.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that came out of fucking nowhere. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, from the get-go on Hanzo Hasashi's compound, because it's not a village or anything, it's just a compound, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. You get that kill through the door where the blood starts spurting out.
Well, everything in the beginning, it had that level of I don't want to say violence, but I guess we can say violence or exactly. But then from there on in, it became this silly B movie, you know what I mean? Until the point where you got, Natara fucking sawed in half. You know what it's like? I was like, so where was? Yeah, and it was jarring. It was just jarring. You know what I mean?
You have the scene where Jax's arm gets ripped off.
Yes, which was a cool scene.
Frozen.
Which,
Yeah.
well, yeah, Frozen slash, Smash. That scene to me was pretty fucking brutal.
It was cool,
Katara,
but I don't know if it was as brutal as it was cool. I give it that much, but I don't think it was as brutal.
Seeing the blood spurting out from where the bone is
I did.
cracking under the
It was,
eyes, I thought that was pretty intense.
Special effects wise, yes. Again, very very cool. But I don't know. Like I said, it just felt like it stepped up.
Some of the CG was kind of funny on this one. And you know that I'm not a person to criticize CG.
That Goro fight is not aging well in any kind of form.
Yeah.
The Goro fight, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that scene was
claymation,
bad, bro.
Not to mention the fight with Sonya and Kano. I don't know if it was just my HBO Max or what was going on, but that shit was super fucking dark. I was like, why can't I see what the hell's going on?
I couldn't see anything. So
yeah, I wasn't even sure. I found out later what she hit him in the eye with, because I was like, I don't know what it was.
Bro, I didn't know what it was either. It's the fucking gnome.
The gnome, the gnome he spat on, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening in that fight the whole time I watched it. Dark told me that he saw it clearly. I was like, I don't know how bright your TV is, bro, but my shit was.
He's got his shit on vibrant. He's got it. So,
Kano's not gonna be dead then, right? Because this is the
he has to be if he's lost the mark.
Well, right, but they're gonna bring him for the next movie.
Well, if you go by Shang Tsung's words, that death is just a portal, which I think is just a foreshadow to Bihan coming back. It could very well be used to justify any of the characters coming back.
True.
Melina,
and have the opportunity to give Kano his metal head portion of it, because now it explained how he got his face messed up,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's true. I didn't think about that. That's true. Yeah. So one last question I have for you guys. Did any of you guys feel like we missed out on the tournament that was talked about during the entire film?
No.
Oh, the tournament that
never happened?
Ended up happening? Yeah, because they were fighting on. Yeah.
Well, it's happening. It's just happening in the next one.
But, that's what it is. Okay, because it's setting it up.
If you've played any Mortal Kombat game, you know that not all of the games are about the tournament. So this is not with that. Like it's not out of character for the franchise to not focus on a tournament.
Sure, but I would argue if you're going to speak about a tournament through most of the film, not having one kind of, kind of let you like, well, I guess that was all.
But
for
it's
that.
Mortal Kombat, of course, they needed to talk about the tournament,
Of course,
even if
it
it
has to, especially if it's your first Mortal Kombat movie, then you have to talk about it.
You're setting it up, yeah.
Exactly, it's a whole setup because
setting it up for a film. Hopefully, we get
not that long, and if you're trying to cram in a tournament, then it's gonna be even worse than what we got.
I mean, you look back at the 1995 one. I don't think we had that much of the tournament. You know what I mean? Other than the grouping, everybody kind of getting together for it.
What are you talking about?
I see your point.
That first Liu Kang fight with a nobody that never appeared in any game, just in that movie that had no fucking name. You got the Sonya and Kano fight. You got the Johnny Cage and Scorpion fight. You got the Liu Kang and Sub-Zero fight. I mean, that's at least 4 or 5 of it. And you got the Goro fights too, which are 2 of them.
Fair enough.
But in this new movie, we went to different stages. We went to the pit,
it was all about the stages, not really
exactly. We were setting everything up.
And Raiden's ability to teleport. By the way, Raiden was a complete and utter dick this whole movie. And
here? Yeah.
Like he's only a dick to that level in the game when he's like, evil Raiden, like Dark Raiden or whatever.
Right.
So, bro, why are you being such an asshole? You're trash. You don't even have a fucking mark. Get it on my way, pleb. You're trash.
It's called reverse psychology, bro. That's how you get their arcanas out.
I get the feeling that this the particular Mortal Kombat universe is gonna go into its own, and it's not really going to try to respect or necessarily follow any of the established lores of any other games, which is a shame because it sounds like
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is what I was trying to say earlier. With like, I'm okay with them streamlining the Mortal Kombat story. Like Sub-Zero in the beginning killing the clan, that's not lore in the game. It's
right.
Quan Chi that tricks that poses as Sub-Zero to trick Scorpion into believing that it was Sub-Zero, so that Scorpion would kill Sub-Zero and then make him indebted into Quan Chi for eternity. You see how convoluted that shit sounds? So you want to streamline that shit? That's fine by me. I'm okay. You want to make Bihan look like a complete and utter dick? Fine by me. Bihan was a dick in the game. He wasn't just as a big of a dick as, because Quan Chi was the one that actually did it. But he was an asshole. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. But then you start adding shit. You're not streamlining anything now. Now you're just making it complicated for no reason whatsoever with this whole Arcana thing. Again, the Arcana is the biggest problem with this fucking movie. The bad acting I could kind of forgive because I knew beforehand that these were a lot of fresh faces, not just in the actors but also with the director and the writer and shit. Like, what is the only real talent that you see there is Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they steal this every time they're on screen. They steal the fucking scene. Whether you want to see it as Sub-Zero being completely OP, which yes, he absolutely was, but again, I'm kind of biased because I'm a Sub-Zero fan, and they gave him all of the fear and respect that I feel he deserves because he is a badass. He's the fucking Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei. Well, it was his brother, but anyways.
I mean, compared
Yes,
to
again,
a Thunder God and
again,
I was gonna say.
Gore and
I mean, listen.
his power doesn't look particularly phenomenal compared to all the other characters. Unless you're comparing him to Stryker and
Listen,
Jax,
if you
maybe.
really want to get like super ridiculous, like scientifically speaking, he would have to have the temperature. He would have to drop the temperature to like a negative 1,400, whatever the fuck, underneath absolute zero, which is absolute zero. There's nothing colder than absolute zero. But well, yes, he does it over 1,000 times. If you really want to talk about ridiculous powers, he can do
Scorpion throws fire from hell.
I know,
Literally
yeah.
from hell.
And he survived hell. I mean,
He survived hell.
I mean,
Like,
he
somehow he's
actually
the good guy.
like canon. Like if you go by the games, Scorpion gets stronger the longer he's in the Nether realm because he's fed, but his power comes from the Nether realm. So he just gets stronger as the longer he's in there, which makes even less sense that Quan Chi would try to make him a servant because all you're gonna do is piss off the guy and then torture you for eternity. Which yes, Scorpion did that for a really long time. He tortured Quan Chi for shits and giggles because he could.
So I'm going to call it here and say that, like it or not, this Mortal Kombat is going to be the new Resident Evil movie. It's going to have
Oh my god, that is
bunch-
like the best comparison I've heard so far.
it's going to have all these sequels, and each one is going to move further and further away from the game.
Yeah, I mean, I do hope there's a slight chance. I'm not gonna say that I hold on to hope because I will be lying. But there is a slight chance that could back up all of it. They could fade away the Arcana, maybe in a subtle way, maybe in a not so subtle way, because this is so shit that I will forgive them if they just automatically drop that and never mention it again. I'll be happy about that. They might fade it away because honestly, it's really fucking ridiculous. So hey, maybe there's still some hope that these sequels are gonna be better, but that's also like, I'm not gonna hold my breath out on this shit.
Right.
I know it. All right, guys. So, what are your final scores on the Mouthful rating system? Oh,
Dream, you want to go
Dreamy,
first?
you first. Yeah. Sorry. I
Shit. I was actually looking for the actual scoreboard thingy.
You guys really should just keep that shit somewhere.
Print
it out, will you?
And the funny thing is, I had it. Okay, here we go. You know what? I did not like a lot of the things that this movie was doing, and I didn't like I didn't care about the character call, what they were establishing there, and there was a lot of things that were very silly and subpar, which is okay in the sense that I saw we had a campy Mortal Kombat movie, and everybody seems to have liked it, even though
it's a guilty pleasure. We all know.
Yeah, exactly. That movie's not super great either. Let's be real. Let's all we're family here. We can say it like it is. But even I like that other movie better than this one. So this movie is not trash, but I'm gonna say that it is mediocre. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
A 2.5 from Mr. Dream Twister, Mr. Chaos,
and I'm being generous.
Yes, you are. Okay. Like I said, I was willing to forgive some of the bad acting and a lot of the cringiness, because let me tell you, it's a lot of cringy moments in this movie. I did very much enjoy the respect and fear they gave to both Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Scorpion, even though he should have been in the movie more, he did get the respect he deserved. That's in how he was portrayed, and even in reference, like when they mention him, they talk about him as like one of the greatest or the greatest ninja warrior or whatever the hell to have ever lived. So I really do appreciate that, because in the end, we all know that Mortal Kombat, the faces of Mortal Kombat is Sub-Zero and Scorpion. You think of Mortal Kombat, you think of those two ninjas. I mean,
it's not Ryu and Ken?
What? You're funny, dude. Even though we all know that Liu Kang is the protagonist of the story, we all know this. Nobody cares. Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Thank you very much. A lot of the fights, they were not great. Even the Reiko and Jax fight, the only good part is actually when he smashed his head, which is a complete waste of the stage they were in. It's so annoying. This movie it got some things right, and it got so many other things wrong.
That trailer shows so much right, and then
yes, exactly. The trailer showed, but what did the trailer show? Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
So
that's why. That's
exactly.
That's all the right needed.
I give it a 2.0. Really mediocre. Again, the fights in the middle were really, really rough. Even the Sonya fight, she did not have a fatality, even though she has so many they could have picked from, even practical ones. They could have picked so many of them. Even though one time she acted like she killed someone, it's Melina, who was severely underused, might I add. But she does have potential to come back because she is a clone. There another one could be made. She gets blasted by the onion rings, which I know Mad Dog was trying to point out earlier that, Kano gets hit by fireballs and gets up. He also gets hit by Raiden's lightning and gets up like nothing. Yet this poor bitch gets hit by fucking onion rings and immediately gets killed.
Exactly.
Yes, movie. Thank you for trying. Also, the bicycle kick, it's in this movie. The 95 movie made it better. He looked like he was flailing in the fucking air like an idiot. But he also did the dragon, the dragon fatality with the fire dragon and shit. That was pretty cool. Yes. And honestly, the effects weren't great, but it looked pretty cool. And the guy that plays Liu Kang looks really good. The same thing with the guy that plays Kung Lao. They did really good in portraying their characters. They were just severely misused. 2.5. I mean, 2.0 really mediocre.
2.0.
Yeah.
Yes.
2.0.
Please do better. Please do better in the sequel. Otherwise, I'm just gonna stick to paying $60 to play the story mode, and that's it.
So I want to just say that I pretty much agree with most of what's been said here. I still enjoyed Kano. He everything didn't always land, but when it landed, it was pretty humorous. I enjoyed that. That's probably the one highlight of the film, and it's not really a highlight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think they edited the fights very poorly. It's like when you're fighting someone, like when they did when everybody got warped to some location
Oh
to
my
fight.
god, that was again
It was
cringy as fuck.
consistently jumping back and forth between them all, and I'm just going, I need to see just one fight, guys. Let's focus on the one fight. And it was just bad editing. It just nothing felt like nothing. It was like a montage of garbage. You know, it didn't make none of the stuff made sense. It wasn't really exciting. However, I still walked into it expecting it to be just as bad or worse, and yet I kind of walked away okay with it. I was like, this is, you know. So I can't give it more than a 2.5. So I'm gonna stick with a mediocre 2.5 for the movie, mostly because of that. It just felt really unbad. I feel like it was just an unfinished film, but they didn't know which direction to go with, and it shows in the end. So
Yeah.
I still think they should have gone with Sub-Zero and Scorpion because the way they showcased those, like a lot of Sub-Zero's moves was amazing. I loved it. There were so many things I loved about everything about Sub-Zero they did in this movie was so right. But it's like they focused so much on Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and everything else was an afterthought.
yeah, it's exactly what it's basically the Godzilla versus King Kong of
Exactly.
fighting movies.
Exactly. Give me,
All the
like,
other human
Scorpion,
stuff,
Sub-Zero good, everyone else bad.
pretty much. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end. An awesome episode, real episode 261. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week saying, where was the soundtrack for this movie? It was nowhere to be seen, for the record.
Nope.
Mr. Chaos Reaper.
Well, we do have a recording from Dark Necromancer, right?
Oh shit, we do. Yes. We're gonna fit that into you somewhere in here.
And
I'm
Dark's
sorry.
Fighting Corner.
Yes. Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. He is very much into fighting games. I like
Sure
it.
is, yeah.
I'm sorry we didn't hear it live here, but I will listen to it and I will tell you what I think about it later on.
Very cool.
Sorry, bro, but shout out to you. Love you.
Shout out to
Love you, Dark. Necromancer.
But thank
All
you guys
right.
for having me.
Champion.
I am so happy I was able to join you guys, at least for this one. I was super excited that I found out that I was off this Friday. I'm like, yes, Mortal Kombat Spoiler Cast. Let's
I know,
rip it.
it's almost
red.
perfect. I was like, yeah, this actually works out great.
Yes. So,
Oh, man.
yes. So I'm very happy and very glad that I managed to do it. Thank you very much.
For sure,
That
man.
was a
Third chair
highlight
is
definitely
always
of the
yours.
podcast, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
I remember one time I was very, very disappointed. And that was when I played Dragon Age 2.
Ooh.
I'm here to tell you that Nier Replicant is my Dragon Age 2.
Ooh, I'm so sorry,
Wow.
sir. I'm so sorry.
That really says a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Also play Returnal.
Yes. Play Returnal. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
GG!
GG!